Boobies!
Hi.
Hello, and welcome to
Boobies.
Why did I try that?
You should have done it. Feel free to do it.
Boobies.
Yeah, you have some good vibrato to it.
Boo.
Boobies. See, look, I'm off. I've also been having like a remix. I've having like a what are those frogs? Like a
Just
you know
frog in your throat.
Yeah. So
Little.
my boobay was a little disaffected.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay, so you took up the slack.
But anyways, my name's Caitlin,
And I'm Joshua.
and we're your hosts. And today we have a guest.
We have a
You
guest.
might recognize her voice from the Babadook episode.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kesley.
Hi, Kesley.
It's
Hi,
nice to be back.
Kesley. Yay!
We've missed you.
I know. Whenever we decided to recover this, I just remembered how many times you told me, if y'all ever recover this, please let me be on it.
It's perfect timing.
And so I said, hello, would you like to be on this? And you said, yes. Oh my God. Or something like that.
Are you a 5 Cream fan?
5 Cream. That's what we call it.
5 Cream.
Oh, yes. I was
5
like,
Cream.
What?
We're covering Scream, a.k.a. 5 Cream.
2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Yep. We're recovering it. If you remember. So, okay, I'm going to be honest. Of course I listened back to it this morning.
Yeah.
And we actually did a pretty damn good job.
I feel like we probably did.
And I was curious to see if my rating still held, and I think it did.
Okay.
At the end of it, I was like, yeah, no, I still feel this way. But we really didn't leave out that much, except for we didn't cover like Amber's death at the end. We left that.
We didn't really go into too much detail about it.
Yeah, because we were like, you
I
know
haven't
what? Go
listened to it
see
in a
the
while
movie.
Since it came out.
Is what
actually.
we said.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
right.
I hadn't listened to it in forever either. And
But
I was
it's
like,
okay,
I'm going to
though,
listen
'cause
to
we
it
can
today.
talk about it this time. Yeah. For sure. And
So
I also like going over, like, even looking at the notes that I had for the last time that I did it as well. I'm just like, oh yeah, like I can definitely see where there are things that we can pick up now on this time that we didn't get a chance to. There's also things on a
Definitely.
second watching, or I actually like this movie even more watching it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
I think this is my fourth time watching it.
Okay. This was
but
only
I
my second.
But I haven't seen it since like, earlier last year.
Yeah.
When it came out.
How many times have you watched this now?
This probably was like my third or fourth time.
Mm.
I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it in a while, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I only watched it. This was my second time.
Yeah.
I watched it in theater and then
and-
I watched it right now.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I remember I watched it when it came, because it started streaming on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Like, not too long after it came out in theater, and I watched it once with someone, and then I think by myself twice, because I just
In
love
theaters?
Scream. No, like when
Oh.
because it was streaming, like I don't know, like because it came out last January.
Yep.
I want to say it was already streaming by like April-ish, so it wasn't too long after. So yeah.
I feel like at the time I didn't know who Jenna Ortega really was. And then now after this,
The fact, she's
with
blown
Wednesday
up.
and everything, she's really, really blown
It
up.
puts it in a different light, I guess. I feel like she's
Yeah.
kind of even gives more of like how like in the first movie the opening scene is with Drew Barrymore, and she's supposed to be like this big celebrity, big star that we all know, and now it feels like, even watching it, I was like, okay, like even I don't want to say like, because I've seen her in other things and I feel like I've seen her acting chops more, but like it kind of gave me more respect for her in a sense, like,
definitely.
right? Like more
She did such a good job
credibility in her acting, where I kind of paid more attention to her, and I was like, okay, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I definitely was like still in awe over her acting in a lot of the scenes, and then still was not as much of a fan of Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was not as much of a fan of her who played Sam. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sam's her
the
name.
older sister. I feel like
There was a few points
were-
where she looks like she's laughing, like as she runs away from Ghostface in the hospital.
like her face.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she looks like she's just like, and
I
it's
can
like,
see what you mean.
what?
Yeah, I felt
You're
like for
getting
me,
chased by
there
a
were-
murderer.
there was some of her I don't know if it's writing. I don't think it's writing. I think it's just like the delivery. There were some delivery moments where it's and not even for her. Even there was one moment I think towards the end. In that moment where Jenna says something, she's like, "I still prefer the Babadook."
Yeah.
Like there was something in the delivery in the line for me that kind of didn't drive it home for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for me,
I liked that line still.
I don't know, but like no, it's a good line.
Yeah.
I just think like in my mind,
You wanted something else.
because I watched it and I literally said, "Oh, that should have been said more like this," and then I was like, "There should have been more like a pause in between her, like because she said it immediately after she shoots Amber, and it's like." I felt there should have been a like sigh or something, some sort of emotion, but like in a tone of like her like, and then like
I kind of love that it came immediately
because it was just like I still prefer the Babadook.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I like that though.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was ready, like she was waiting, ready to say that line
with the one-liner.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
She's like, "You motherfuckers! Like you stabbed me a bunch of times, and you shit on the Babadook.
They broke her leg. They like threw her hand.
That leg snapping scene really still gets me.
Yeah. You know, they filmed that over. They like filmed that over a course of time where they filmed like the beginning of it, and then they had to like for some reason not film the ending of it, and then they came back to filming it. So she like started filming that at 17, and then finished filming it at 18.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Another fun fact is that during the beginning of the film, right there where Tara was walking through the house, in one of the windows to the right of the front door, the camera guy can be seen clearly during both scenes that take place during the hallway shots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to watch that because
I know I need to see that.
At
that's
what
just
point?
a goof.
I'm sorry, what part?
Whenever she's at the beginning of the film, whenever she's walking through the house and in the window to the right of the front door, you can see the camera guy, according to IMDb's goofs.
I'll have to look it up.
You know I love my IMDb
Rewatch.
trivia. Love it.
I will say that in that opening scene where she's like on the phone and she's like freaking out, I love the way that the camera is far enough so that you can still see her and like freaking out, but you can see both of the openings behind her in the hallways. And it's like you're focusing on those because you think he's gonna come from there.
Out when she's in the kitchen, right? Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Like I don't think he did.
No.
Like, that moment, but like I saw a thing where it was like what am I saying? Sorry, it's like a thing that they do to keep your focus off so that you're expecting something to come from there.
Like divert your attention kind of situation. Yeah.
Because it's like you want to focus on her, but also you think something's going to come from there and it makes you more anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really building up the tension. And
just like they do with Wes and closing all the doors and stuff too.
Because you think he's going to jump out at some point, but he never does.
Yeah. They're really trying to build you up. They're getting you really tense and until you explode.
I also really noticed that at the beginning or when she's in the kitchen and you have because it's really dark and it looks like especially because it's Ghostface, you could just like I'm just expecting like just to see that face kind of pop up slowly.
Like The Strangers.
Exactly. Or like Halloween very like pop up like Laurie Strode popping up or Michael popping up and with the lighting but
would have been
and then
cool.
nothing happens but then like it just escalates after that pretty quickly.
Yeah, it does.
And this scene too, and just like in every Scream movie, they're in on it, and they're like, well, there's got to be more. But like this attack scene was really brutal.
It was. It really was.
I don't know. There are theories that it was freaking boyfriend's name. Richie. Yeah, and that he like did it and then drove all the way back to Modesto because I believe it's like a 3-hour something drive and there was enough time for him to go. I feel like he totally did. I feel like just because I don't want to.
This one was so clumsy. Amber was not as clumsy.
No, and we do know that Amber is vicious, I guess, in a sense, but I just feel like it was him.
Yeah,
because there was even times I feel like I heard a grunt that sounded more like male than it did her. Even though I know Ghostface uses a voice freaking thing, but still
changer.
Like,
I
don't know. I just feel like it was him, and
I feel like it was him too.
Yeah,
just because then even his voice at first was more normal. On the phone. I mean, he could have called.
Well, I mean, I do know that like they're obviously working together too. So it's not like just him, but I do feel like she had, she had access to her phone obviously. And like it's her in the end. So when they were like, what do you say? Oh, Amber left her phone and now I got cloned or something. She shouldn't have done that.
She shouldn't leave her phone around to get cloned.
And I don't even think it was ever cloned. I think it was just
literally
her phone and she was doing it, you know?
I think that was only to throw us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so many times. So even watching it, so the first time I had Amber and Richie pinned almost immediately.
I remember you did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about Richie, but I was like, no, fuck this guy. Don't like him. And then Amber gave fucking weird vibes, like obsessed girlfriend vibes. Yeah, and then watching it back, though, they spell it out for you from the beginning. Mm-hmm. They really do. Mm-hmm. I mean, they do that little bit whenever she's like, is Wes still bothering you kind of thing. And so she's trying to plant Wes in people's minds. And we even talked about that in the last recording. Mm-hmm. But they really were just like, it's Amber. It's and Richie mm-hmm. the whole time. And I was like, even Dewey
says it like it's him.
Yeah.
It's the love interest. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're right. I could read more in between the lines watching it this time around and like seeing what she was doing to try to like manipulate or orchestrate.
And then the body language between her and Richie every time they interacted in the hotel. Even when they were like first meeting hospital, each other. Not a hotel.
Even when they first met each other in the hospital room. And then like even when they had that little banter of like, come on, murderer, you're the murderer, you know, like it was very like this is giving bad acting. Yeah, like I was like, oh wait, like this is very like cheesy and not, but like in the writing in itself, like not that the writing was cheesy, but like their delivery, which I know it was
intended to be intentional. It was like they were purposely acting bad.
Yeah, or they were trying to act like they didn't know each other, but it's just they were bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, they from the get-go, it was pretty much them. I never suspected anybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, covering all that, I mean, that kind of gets us through the opening act and like, you know, Jenna can we talk about that scene a little bit more though?
Yeah, because, like, definitely. She gets the phone call.
Mm-hmm, she gets the phone call and already off the bat, we know like, oh shit, this is Ghostface. But I do kind of like how, because it's kind of like like it's been years since the last one. Mm-hmm. I do kind of love how it started off as like, I'm a family friend, like it's the voice, and then transitioned slowly into that like Ghostface voice that we all know.
And that's why I really feel like it was probably Richie, because I feel like it kind of did sound like him at first, and then, or at least like, you know, you can change your voice. Trying to pitch your voice,
shift it a little bit, sound like someone else.
Exactly.
I think for me, like one thing I really loved about that scene was that a lot of the things that Jenna was doing, I don't know the actress name or the character name, but Jenna was doing was a lot of the stuff from the main, like from the original movie, how like she was cooking something and how she was walking around the house, and it was like giving you the like layout of the area, and then she's messing with the knives while she's on the phone. Like it was just like small things that I was like, oh,
they're all callbacks.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's what's so wonderful about the Scream films in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, they also wanted the directors wanted to really like pay their respects and like play homage to like everything Wes that came before to Wes, because obviously he's passed away, you know, after this came out. And so
but also sorry,
no, go for it.
When they, like how you guys were saying how they literally spell it out for you, if you like pause at any point and read the messages through that Amber's texting her, at one point I have it written down, she's literally says, she's like, it's probably somebody calling for your mom. And then while the guy is on the phone saying like, oh, I'm for your mom.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, if you're right, and it's what was his name? Richie.
Yeah.
Jeez. I just watched it. You think I'd know the name?
We couldn't remember his name for most of the last recording.
Yeah.
Because then there was like, for some reason on IMDb, how he's credited was like Kiefer or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then so you were like, I'm pretty sure his name's Richie. And I was like, I watched his Saturday now. I don't remember. We're going to call him Richie. And it is Richie.
It's Richie.
But like, I feel like, as you guys said, they spell it out. And so like, if it is Richie on the phone, it's like they talked about it prior. And she was like, oh, say you're calling for her mom or something. Like, so they planned out everything.
It's really fucking stupid. They should have planned that better to not like line it up like that. Because I would have been like, that's suspicious. How did you know? Kind of thing. I mean, and then I guess they kind of wrapped that up with the the cloning the phone thing, but
Yeah.
still I would be like, Also, I think it's important to note that she has her inhaler right before she picks up the phone, which the inhaler comes into play
later on in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I remember in watching that the first few times, I didn't pay heavy attention to that either.
Oh, so you're like, why does she need an inhaler?
Well, no, not necessarily, but like, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, this inhaler definitely has been in play the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas when I watched the first couple of times, it was like, it kind of seemed like an added, like, oh, we're doing this now just because it adds something to like,
to get them to go there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was just like, where was this inhaler when she was like on the wheelchair and like crutching like for her life? Like, but I digress.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was there from the get-go. So it was very, what's it called? Foreshadowing?
Foreshadowing, yeah. Very intentionally put there for us to know that she's in need of an inhaler.
I do like how, with the 2011 one and this one, they do like obviously try to like, technology has changed. Like it's more like, with the locks and stuff.
Still terrifying to me.
And stuff and all that.
I love the idea of being able to do that from afar, but like...
But like a glitch or something,
a glitch.
Someone can hack into it.
Exactly. It's so easy for people to hack things. Like, I mean, these two fucking idiots did it. So
yeah, but also too, like Amber is really close to her, so I'm sure
she might
Amber
have had the
codes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because she was trusted, but we do, and so like I know that Amber's moved into that house, right? Streamwalker's house. Yeah. And she was like, I've become obsessed ever since I moved into that house. Did I miss it? She lived there before, like in Woodsboro, but just moved to the house? Or like, did her family move like, and she was a new student and like all together?
I feel like she was a new student because I don't think that Sam babysat her.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. She knew of her. Like,
but she didn't know her, like, but grew up with her.
Yeah, wasn't like
that makes
the
sense.
Other three who she babysat.
That makes sense.
For me, like, the energy of that was like, because she is very protective over
Jenna's character?
Yeah, Tara, right?
Tara.
Yeah. So she's like super protective over her against Sam, and she's like, oh, well, I don't want to see her hurt again. And so I feel like she was there at least in the time that she left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sam left. But I feel like maybe it was only for like a year prior or something. And at that point, she was starting to become like this crazy person.
Yeah.
Becoming very attached to Tara.
I would agree with that she definitely showed up right before Sam left. And because they definitely knew each other.
Yeah, and that might be another reason they became so close was because Tara just lost her older sister, the person that she was like closest to.
Yeah.
And
Amber,
yeah,
like took over that spot
for her. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
It is. Amber's just a fucking crazy psychopath, honestly.
Oh yeah,
she really is. She does a great job of really portraying that at the end.
Yeah,
she go batshit
for real,
balls to the wall.
But we'll even like picking up the weird vibes, balls to the wall. Yeah. I don't know. But
what an odd phrase.
But yeah, Tara is attacking. I do like how. It is so violent. That sounds bad, but it's just
it really is. Wow. I mean, which was like, thinking back to, Drew's in the original, she gets gutted.
She really does.
I mean, they cut out right before you see that, but right.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Yeah, because it's like a really fast pan up to her in the tree.
Yeah, that's right.
They had to do that because of like
the ratings and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it was, and I like the way that we get that commentary on the Babadook and elevated horror and all that stuff. I think that was really such a fun part.
A fun and coincidence that you also like are the person who guest spotted with us on the Babadook episode, and they're referencing the Babadook.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I know, that is fun.
Because in the Babadook episode, we referenced this one as well.
That's true. I think we did.
When they talked about elevated horror, this was the only. Watching this movie was the only reason I even knew what the Babadook was.
Gotcha. Okay, and that opened up the door for you.
Yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
do remember that conversation now. Yeah. Wow. What a good film. What a
Full
good film.
circle moment.
She mentions Hereditary. She mentioned some other great films. It Follows.
It Follows.
It Follows to me.
I wasn't a huge fan.
I wasn't
but a
either.
lot of people
but
really love it.
I know.
A lot of people love it.
That's what I'm so confused by. I mean, there were some things, but like basically just it being like a sexually transmitted disease or infection is like, what?
Yeah. I mean, that's a very true horror story.
I mean, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, in itself. But
maybe I need to watch it again and watch it from an actual
like analytical perspective.
Yeah,
like
instead of just
same.
like watching it because everyone was talking about it.
Well, I think because whenever I first watched it, I think it was also more of like, I'm like, what am I watching? And then by the end of it, I'm like, oh, I mean, I get it. But then I felt like I was kind of like, it was underwhelming, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
In
I
a
would
sense.
agree.
But there were some cool moments in that film, like when they're on the beach and she's like, flung around. I don't know if you've seen it, Kesley, but
I watched about 10 minutes of it and got bored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got 3 people who will give It Follows
a
0
lower
boost.
rating.
We won't even watch it. But yeah, just anyways, we've been on the opening, but she just gets brutally attacked when this Ghostface like steps on her leg and it just like splits.
The first time I saw that, I loved it so much, and then I rewatched it and I was like, okay, now I'm grossed out. Because I watched Halloween Ends, and that was like very gory.
Yeah,
and I can't watch gore anymore after that.
Oh man, I just really
we're about to get into some gore.
Yeah.
We're about to cover the Saw films.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. But
talk about some.
Which
There's
I've
a
never
scene.
seen.
There's a scene in one of the Saws. I can't remember which one, but where they just take this man's leg and it's in like wrapped in something, and they just start slowly twisting it, and then like the shin bones start like splintering through the skin.
Ouch.
It makes my calves and shins hurt so
just kill me.
much.
Just kill me. Yeah. But it's very brutal, man. And then like the stab through
It
the
makes
hand.
this one look like child's play.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I can imagine. But yeah, and I do like how we get like a slash to her and she's like screaming no, and then we get the title card. And
yeah.
we don't necessarily know if she's dead or alive. I like how it kind of opened with that.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely did like that.
You know what I didn't really like, and I think I even mentioned it when we first recorded this, is I don't understand why we have a song like transitioning between that opening and then to Sam and her boyfriend there on the phone. Like, I just felt like it took me out of that element.
Oh, with the song.
Yeah, it's like SZA, I believe, and like she's.
That's true.
It took me out of it for some reason, and it only plays for like a little bit while she's out there, and then he comes out and they faded away. Like it's
like you wish it would have just flashed.
Yeah, and then like silence or like more of like an instrumental orchestral type of. It just kind of like the vibes were very like. It took me out of the
Maybe they
element
just had to
scream.
put us. They were like,
But yeah.
California vibes. We got to shove them in somewhere.
Sure,
in Modesto.
that does make sense. But yeah. Anyways,
Also,
that's me nitpicking.
Wait,
very nitpicking.
before we get too much further, after he like breaks her legs, and then the boner pills, yeah. But then whenever he stands up, that shot is so cool. Sorry.
Right over her body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got the way that like you see her trying to crawl away and then you see him get up like
there was actually
loved that.
In watching it this time a lot of moments that Ghostface, either it was Amber or Richie, had a lot more like I was paying attention to their movements.
Yeah.
And they did have like even when they were stabbing Wes and it was like very like almost Michael, like a head tilt, but like
that had to have been Amber.
But there was very like, and the moment with Dewey, like there was just moments where it felt like they were more in like a marvel of what they were doing as well.
Again, Amber.
Yeah, probably Amber. Yeah.
She loved the kill.
Yeah.
She was definitely there for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She was. Anyways, but yes, they're sitting there talking now. We're in Modesto, California, and she's taking some pills, and he says, "What'd you just take?" And she says, "Your boner pills."
Yeah.
And he says, "You are my boner pills."
Even watching it, so I'm like cringe.
Cringe.
Time. Yeah, but
I still love it though. It still made me put LOL.
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 We sound like a bunch of millennials. LOL. But
live out loud.
Live, laugh, love. I love how immediately though we get the phone call and it's like Wes and it's just like your sister's been attacked. she's been stabbed.
Dum dum dum.
Yeah.
It was some motherfucker in a Ghostface mask.
Yeah. And so, and watching it now, we already know, like, she hears Ghostface. She already knows, like, oh, okay, like, this is, because obviously her dad, biological father, is Ghostface.
Yep.
The original.
The OG.
So,
And she knows that.
Yeah. So it's for her, like, probably a really triggering moment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure she just wanted to, like, run.
And was like, we're going to get away from this. That was her whole plan by moving to Modesto or whatever, 3 hours away. And then now
she's gonna face this.
She's going to have to
attacked,
come home. Yep. And it didn't, her getting away didn't save Tara like she had originally hoped.
No.
Because that is, as we find out later, why she left in the first place. Because she couldn't be near Tara. She couldn't tell her. She couldn't bring her into that life.
Yeah, it's a really, like, big secret to hold. Obviously, that would, like, put a, like, wall in between you and someone, because
especially like a sibling, because you thought you were full blood, and then now you're not, and stuff like that. And then also, I mean, the mom told her, don't tell her.
Yeah.
So
keeping secrets brings, like, also another layer of, like, unnecessary, like, shame.
Yeah.
As well, because I'm sure she was like, because she's attached to this, and obviously there's a bad light on her dad because he was a murderer, so like that's like all these layers to it, so she's probably like spiraling like she did, you know. But yeah, so we have them on, she's got to go to where do they live again? Woodsboro. Shoot me now. Wow. Yeah, Woodsboro. So they at this point we meet up at the hospital, right? And she ends up running into the twins and everybody. We kind of get like a
we were at the school before then.
Oh, that's right.
They're all there, and like Chad's trying to get Liv to find her, use the Find My Fam request, basically.
Yeah.
Which at the time I was like, no, but then now I definitely do share my location with Andrew.
Same.
And so with Andrew.
Me and Andrew, yeah, we share each other's location. Specifically, no, I share mine with my boyfriend. But I also have like Nancy's location and like another friend in Austin's location. Yeah, we can have each other's location.
Yay. Do you want my location?
Yes.
You know where I am at all times.
Yes. There's something just like it's for safety, and like sometimes you go out drinking, and sometimes you need to know where people are. Exactly. Sometimes people travel from other cities, and you want to know like that
how close they
are. And then like, where if they stop messaging for like 20 minutes, you're like freaking out, thinking like, oh my god, they're dead, they crashed. But then you see like, oh, they're still moving, so they're okay.
Yeah. That's
I know that feeling.
What was it the other day? Andrew called and it was during the tornado and stuff, and he called while I was at work, so I couldn't answer, but stuff was already bad in Dallas at that time, and I was like, oh my god, what if he's calling? Like my brain automatically was like, oh my god, what if this is him calling, and it's like his last call, and he's calling to say like I love you and stuff like that, and
your mind went there,
and then he's just gonna be dead. That's what immediately, there was no in between. My brain was just like, Andrew's calling him. This is the last phone call he's ever gonna make.
It's funny how our mind sometimes, my mind be doing that too.
I told him that, and he was like, what the fuck, Caitlin? He was like, why does your brain do that? And I was like, I don't know. It just automatically always assumes everyone is dead.
Yeah. I automatically get guilt if sometimes I don't want to answer a phone call because I'm like, I'm tired, I don't want to talk. But then in my mind, before I let it go to the last, like, I answer it, because in my mind I'm thinking like, what if they need something? What if they're dying? What if like I find out that they were trying to call me because they needed me to help them, and then like they died 15 minutes. I could have been like you
could have saved them. I
don't want to deal with that. I might as well just answer it.
Same.
But yeah.
From the host of the popular podcast, The Only One in the Room, Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins is a propulsive and vivid memoir about the journey to sobriety and self-love amidst addiction, privilege, racism, and self-sabotage. Best-selling author Holly Whitaker calls it an irresistibly delicious story, and MacArthur Foundation fellow and best-selling author Kiese Lehman says Stash is emotionally riveting. Buy Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins now, wherever books are sold.
Hey there, homeowners. Is it time to give your yard a complete makeover this summer? Villani Landshapers, a local family-owned business, has been transforming landscapes for more than 20 years. Villani Landshapers specializes in landscape design build, retaining walls, outdoor living spaces, and so much more. Request your free consultation today and check out their gallery of residential work at villani-landshapers.com.
At the school, and Wes is like all for disabling your GPS. He's like, nah, shut that shit off. He was like, you should tape over your cameras.
Literally.
He's a little bit,
he's like paranoid
but
for good reason, because there's a murderer effect.
Exactly.
And also his mom,
that's true,
is the
sheriff,
and
his mom's also like lived through all that in the past, and I'm sure like especially because of the town they're in, like she's extra like hard on, like all that seems like stuff that was drilled into him when he was a kid, and like now he's just like that because he grew up this way. It's
that's
very
what's
much
normal to him,
like almost like Halloween and Laurie Strode trying to raise her like very like, I went shooting guns when I was 10 and then I did this and that because my mom was paranoid and thought Michael Myers was coming back.
Exactly.
But yeah, and this whole scene too is also a vibe of like we're getting the suspicion thrown on everybody in the group. And we're getting just introduced to the friend group too in general, and then we're also getting introduced to Vince, who's sitting there like watching Liv. Who it's a really throwaway character, honestly. I mean, hope maybe they'll bring Stumacher back, honestly. That TV never killed him.
That's true.
Just saying.
That's true. That would be cool. That would be really cool.
He's avenging.
I am excited for Hayden.
I'm excited for Kirby. Yeah,
to see her again.
How that ties in.
Want to know how she technically survived. I can see how she possibly did. Because
they thought she died, left her there, and then like paramedics found her and she went to the hospital and nobody knew she was there, and then like she ended up surviving because Jill was obviously in the fucking hospital and like then got shot. And what's his face got killed by Jill. Scream 4, that was a movie, man. It was kind of all over the place.
It was my least favorite of the franchise thus far. Anyways, but yeah, Vince watching her, and he's fucking creepy. I don't know. But then that's when they do go to the hospital. Liv can't go, and so that makes her look even more suspicious.
I think I was more suspicious of Liv cheating on her boyfriend with
that dude.
Because like even when they were talking about giving each other locations, she was like, you can stalk me like a jealous boyfriend. And he was like, you can do it too. But it definitely was giving like, because she hooked up with that guy in the summer before.
Well, and he pops up, and then she's like, I can't go. It very she's about like to go over there and talk to him. Yeah, literally.
That's true.
But they all go to the hospital, and we get the interactions of them all meeting up with Sam. And it's a little awkward between Amber and Sam, but she's very like, like she said, sweet with the twins and like Mindy and
Chad.
Yeah.
Mindy, Chad, and Wes.
Because she's introducing them to Richie.
Yeah. And Richie, whenever he walked in, immediately kind of like looked at Amber. If you watch his body language there, it was like he didn't immediately look at her. He actually was actively avoiding her.
Gotcha.
I think is what it was. And then so he's like looking at them, and then he like chances a glance at her, and she's already like moved on from him, or like really trying to sell her act rather. Because as we find out, they were together, which that felt weird to me.
That was also weird too.
I wish they were just friends.
I didn't like that whenever she was like babe and stuff like that later on. And we also got to mention earlier when Sam and Richie were driving up, like he supposedly hasn't seen the Stab movies. He's playing really dumb. Essentially, like he knows nothing about the situation that's afoot and what's happening.
And he even asks her, he was like, do you have any idea why someone wearing that mask would want to kill your sister, knowing full damn well why someone would want to literally wearing that mask would want to kill your sister. Exactly.
He's really playing the game here. He's really kind of toying with her at this point. I don't know. He's just sadistic, I guess. Because even at that, it seems more just like enjoyable for him.
I think it is.
But we do have what they need their moment. Sam and Miss
Amber
Tara.
says to everybody, she's like, Tara's tired. Everybody, let's go. And all I can think to myself is, why is Tara not telling us that she's tired?
She's tired. Yeah.
Tara,
you don't speak
was
for
cool
Tara.
with everybody else being there. She never said anything to implicate that she was tired.
Yeah.
So why are you kicking everyone out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then it's good that like Tara is able to be like, well, except for you, Sam, everyone but you.
Yeah, and like the look on Amber's face was definitely like, why are you telling her that?
Yeah. Which
I didn't give you permission to say that.
Yeah. Amber seemed like she had control issues. Like she really wanted to try to be like, you know, orchestrating everything, and she wanted to keep everybody and everything close to her.
Yeah.
Because I even felt like she kind of gave Richie some attitude at one point whenever she was like, and where were you? Like, you know, when they're at the hospital, I guess, when things are going on. But
yeah, here in just a little bit.
Yeah,
actually,
because Sam and Tara have their whole moment, but then Sam needs to go freshen up or get water or something. But she's taking her meds, right?
Yeah, she says. Yeah, she says that she needs to go get some food. Yeah. But before that, this is where we actually get Vince's death. Because we flash back to them at the bar for children.
I don't understand how the kids are at the bar.
But I mean, I guess they just draw the X's on their hands kind of thing, and they're just there to play pool.
I know that there's one here in Waco that's they let people in. They're 16 and up, but they don't let you drink. You can just play pool and stuff.
Oh,
I've never
interesting.
I just know of it.
Huh. Yeah. So that's where they were. They were sitting there playing pool, and Mindy's basically saying we're all suspects. And then she says, except you, Liv, you're way too boring to be a psycho, which was funny. But then this is where Vince comes up and is like a fucking weirdo. He's like, you want a real drink, sweetheart?
And I guess it's supposed to be red herring-ish, but also no, because at no point does that make me think this guy's a killer.
It's
just some douche.
He's just a fucking creep.
Yeah.
And then we flash to him peeing on the wall, and then someone gets in his car and revs the engine.
It's a pretty cool scene.
It is. Yeah.
I also just really think it's just a throwaway, but it's supposed to tie in, and we find out later who he is, and
the original murders or attempted murders tied to the OG killers
characters. And so, but it's still, I was just it kind of just gave more style over substance, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was a knife in the ignition, right? I was like, I don't think that works that way.
That's how we turned it on, and they hot wired it. I don't know. Ghostface got it on somehow.
I did like how the song playing there was saying he's a ghost. He can disappear kind of thing.
Yeah.
And stuff. I was like, that's well placed. And I like how it stabs him in the throat. I'm assuming that was Amber. Amber seems to have a thing for throats. I think she killed. I think she killed Wes too.
Yeah,
and she stabs.
She killed Wes primarily because she throws him under the bus, but she's like, oh, Wes, you're still hung up on her, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh,
she has it out for him.
And then when they're at the bar and Wes says something, where is it?
I think I know
she makes fun of him for having a crush on her a lot.
And he says something about she says something about well, I'm not happy about the sister being back here, and he's like, so no boy can have her, and
no
now her family's off limits too. And then Mindy, the twin sister, she's like, that's a motive there, Wes. No one else can have her but me. And I'm like, how did Wes just get thrown under the bus? He didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah.
He was...
It got spun because more so that's what Amber's doing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's making it seem like
she's
Wes
manipulating
is the one
everyone. Yeah.
And so we do have all of that happening, and then Sam ends up taking meds. We see because she's in this kind of break room. It looks like lobby waiting area where people can eat food and stuff, I guess. And then we get freaking Skeeter Ulrich. Yeah.
Billy's behind her. Again, I still feel the same way.
I can't think of his name for some reason. Billy, there we go.
I wish that maybe I don't understand. I wish they would have done a dream sequence or something like we talked about last time, or something other than these hallucinations with poor CGI.
I didn't like it either. I also didn't like I just didn't understand. I feel I don't know. I'm not gonna critique like I'm a filmmaker, like I can write movies, because I've never obviously written a movie ever before.
Maybe,
but I just feel like there was a different way to introduce that, bring that up, because it just kind of seemed like fan service. Like, okay, we're just throwing it because like people want to see him. I guess
I also still do. I'm gonna die on this hill.
Do it.
I strongly dislike how they give him a redeeming arc through this, when it's like, no, you're still a fucking murderer who murdered all these people for a fucking dumbass reason.
Yeah.
Because mommy wouldn't come home or something.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Mommy
dude.
Issues. Yeah. Because his dad had the affair with Maureen.
Exactly. And
I get that. Yeah.
then I also strongly dislike how much the film plays into, well, he was a murderer, so the offspring's also got to be
a murderer.
bad.
There's something got to be wrong.
Or
with her.
like, if she's good, then now he's good, kind of thing. That's what it felt like with that redeeming kind of quality of him.
Because like it kind of seemed like he was protecting her, like he was instructing her, kind of guiding her, if you may, and
especially at the end,
being like a voice of reason almost.
Yeah, and it was like
he's still a murderer.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I guess if you really think about it,
protagonist.
she is the one having those thoughts, so it's not really Billy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was the like one of the few parts of this film that I did not enjoy.
I still don't enjoy.
Yeah, and still don't enjoy.
I just would have wished there was a way of like bringing that in without, or even just like his voice in her head,
his voice,
like
yeah,
a voiceover kind
that
of
would have
thing.
been
Trippy,
better,
like without seeing him, and also like the bad CGI, like honestly,
because they tried to de-age him, and
to
that's
make him
what
look at the time period like when he died.
Yeah,
you know, but like I honestly would have been fine even if they did have him to like just leave him the way he looks now, because obviously if you look at Skeet Ulrich,
he still looks really good.
Fine. He's like not aged that much.
Yeah,
like he looks very young for his age,
and that's surprising.
And I would have been fine with that, because I don't have to see him young and like with like the computerized face. But I digress, because we do find out anyways.
You liked him though, right?
Son.
Did you like the CGI, or do you just liked him?
I just like him. He is a very handsome man.
He is very handsome.
Yeah. Please ignore the fact that I watched Riverdale. It is a bad mark on my character.
Oh, I also watched Riverdale. That's how I destroyed my first MacBook. I fell asleep while drinking wine and watching Riverdale, and I woke up to a black screen.
Oh no!
And then I turned my keys upside down, and wine just poured out.
But he plays like a father in that. And
okay.
Jughead's dad.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
He was a very handsome man in that. To this day, I didn't even realize at first that it was him who played Billy Loomis in the original.
Yeah.
Until like I went back and like.
You were like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Jughead's dad.
Yeah, I honestly didn't. I feel bad. Like I haven't paid much attention to his career other than that. So like I didn't even know that he was in the Riverdale.
Yeah.
I also don't watch Riverdale. So.
I only watched like the first 3 seasons. After my laptop died, I stopped watching it. Clearly, I figured that was a sign from the universe. It was right after they had started adding singing into like every episode, and I was like, okay, that's like what the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina did as well. And I was like, just because we can sing doesn't mean we should.
Because it's on the CW.
It is.
Yeah, they were CW shows, I thought, but I don't know.
They definitely were CW shows.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode y'all talked about the CW. It was like probably like
It was on Nope.
Yeah.
Y'all were talking about it, and I don't remember which one of y'all was like saying good things about it.
It was me, because old CW had good shows.
Yeah.
Old CW had really good
CW,
shows.
no.
Like
fucking CW.
CW went down.
Like the writing.
I don't ever watch CW.
The writing is really cheesy. The CGI is really bad.
I see.
The editing is really bad. Well,
that makes more sense now, because Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, like the first season was good, and then it was like no. But I still watched all of it.
Yeah. We do get Judy Hicks coming in though.
That's right.
Because
Judy Hicks. Let's go.
Comes in after Miss Sam gets attacked, and obviously there's some contention between the two, because Sam was a problem child, as we know, and Judy Hicks was the deputy back then. Now she's the town sheriff.
And we get Deputy Daddy there too.
Oh, Deputy Daddy, that's right. Who's supposed to be protecting them in the hospital,
but
which he
Deputy
failed to
Daddy's
do.
He's too busy looking handsome.
The fact that nobody heard her getting attacked by Ghostface.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too.
Because like she opens the door and she's screaming, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
nurse right there.
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you serious?"
We already know that this hospital's basically empty.
That is true.
That's
and
true.
apparently
Like in every
lacks.
scary movie hospital.
But I mean, with the nurse being right there, they
was
just
like,
lacked.
what the
Maybe
heck?
she had her earbuds in. And she was like
Yeah.
jamming to some like Shania Twain or something.
But I
don't know why
thought in
Shania
watching this too, I
is what
agree.
came to
I
my
thought it
mind.
was weird that like she was making a lot of noise. There were tables being tossed and like chairs.
literally
flipping.
flipped.
Yeah, I am surprised that nobody heard the commotion and was like, "What the fuck's going on in here?"
Yeah.
Yeah. But just like always, Ghostface has just enough time to get away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at her like, you crazy. And then she's even like, wait, am I crazy? And then it's just kind of like a mess. And then obviously Judy is just like, you need to leave.
You need to get out of
Just
here.
get out.
Because this was
You're
the
a problem.
scene where they like, what is Amber and
Richie.
Oh, Richie,
are, like,
yeah, that's
accusing
right.
each other.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
And
baby, yeah.
Then like Sam's like saying something back to Judy with attitude. And
Yeah.
she's like, let's talk in the hall.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why are you telling her to leave? That is her sister. Like,
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only family she has in town at the moment, and you're telling her to leave.
I was like, we actually need to tell Amber to leave.
True
Yeah.
dad.
That's who needs to get out of here. But okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Amber did have a solid alibi, at least at that moment, because she was being interrogated by Deputy Hicks.
Yeah,
or
that's
Sheriff
true.
Hicks, my bad. So it had to have been Richie.
Yeah. Which is
Uh-huh.
again
Which we
why you're
know-
so fucking clumsy.
Yeah, and we knew he was at the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
And after this,
I was watching Netflix.
Sam is very she wants to go to the source, so she's gonna go find someone who will help her, and that's Dewey, of
Yep.
course.
And she
Um,
also, right before that, spills the whole
Oh,
story
the beans, that's right.
about Billy being her dad to Tara. And this is where Tara has her acting here is so good. Jenna Ortega's
Mhm.
acting during this scene is just mwah, chef's kiss. When she was like, get the fuck out. I was like,
the emotion is very
Yeah,
raw.
good.
Mhm. She seems genuinely angry with her.
oh, de-emotion. I
Upset.
thought you said de-emotion.
De-emotion.
De-emotion?
Demotion.
De-emotion?
De-emotion.
I know, but I
Damn,
thought
but
you
the
said
emotion.
damn
Damn
ocean.
emotion, but all of them, all of the damn emotion as well.
Damn ocean.
But yeah, no, she did pretty good. But Sam tells her basically like, it's her fault, which it's not, but her fault that their dad, quote unquote, left them.
Yep.
And their mom blamed it all on Sam, and then Sam couldn't tell us Tara, and then that's why she left. Which is all really heavy. But Tara's reaction is pretty legit, genuine, valid.
Yeah.
I'm sure she also feels like, damn, that's a whole lot to just stump on someone.
Yeah.
Especially if
Yeah,
you've, like,
especially during
and this
everything
whole
else that's
time,
just
you
happened.
got attacked. Yeah. And so we do have her like leaving the room, and I thought it was so weird as well too. Whenever she's like, Richie, did you hear all that? And he's just like, no, yeah, every word. And then she's like, you don't want to leave, and he's like, no, I love you. Like it felt.
That I love
didn't-
you is so forced.
Yeah.
So forced.
Yeah.
It
He's
was
I'm
like-
not gonna leave you.
It looked like he felt like disgusted
Mhm.
saying those words.
Yeah. I didn't believe it.
Yeah, I didn't believe it for a second. But then that's right. When we flash to Dewey.
We're going to go find Dewey. Yes.
Dewey.
Who's living in a trailer park now.
Yep, and he's watching Gail
on the news.
on the news.
Like a morning talk show.
Yep.
Yeah. Very GMA. And that's whenever we do see like he's no longer a cop. It gives very like let himself go, but not like too horribly.
No, he
kinda
just-
like he's served
not-
his time.
Yeah.
He's retired.
And he's just living a very slow life.
Yeah. It kind of seems like he's sad. Yeah, because he loves
Very
Gail,
depressed.
obviously, but
Yeah.
like he's not with her.
And the
Um,
smile on his face when he turns the TV
Mhm.
on and
So
sees her, I was
sad.
like, oh, a little heart. 'Cause he's-
Yeah.
I love Dewey.
I do
Everybody
too.
loves Dewey. Everybody needs a Dewey.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever we do see that they go up, right? And they're knocking at the door, and that's whenever he's like, it doesn't want to let them in. He's like, give me a good reason to let you in. She's like, I'm the son of Billy Loomis, and he's like,
The daughter,
immediately,
but
yeah,
yes.
or the daughter, my bad. I'm the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm sorry.
I'm actually the Messiah.
the second coming. And he's like, that is not a good reason.
That's a terrible reason.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
she's like, just give us 5 minutes. And he's like, I'll give you 2.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, because he says, I'm missing a show I like. Which is like, that's a mood.
And
Yeah.
also, right when he's about to turn the TV off, you can hear Gail go, I'm about to get bangs again. I need to do like an intervention. Because like in the earlier movies when she has her bangs, which mind you, I loved the bangs.
Yeah,
she looks so good.
Yeah, but they got made fun of. And it's funny because the bangs were actually Dewey's idea, like behind the scenes. Like he's the one that convinced her to do it. And they did it on set. And then, yeah.
Aw, that's so cute.
Yeah.
What a nice little... Aw, I love that.
And so they end up getting... Basically, he's introducing he's kind of playing the role of what our favorite character... Mr. Meeks, Randy, would do, and like kind of explaining the rules and the setup of the whole situation and like what happens when you were dealing with Ghostface.
Number one.
Been doing it for a lot of time.
That's right. He has. He's had this for a long time. Number one.
Never trust the boyfriend.
Yeah.
The love interest. Because more times than not, it is the love interest. Mm-hmm.
Number two
is always look at the friend group, right?
That's number 3.
Oh, my bad.
But number 2 is the killer's motive is always connected to something in the past. But number 3, yes, is the first victim has a friend group that the killer is typically a part of.
Yes, which is all the workings of what a Scream has and what this movie's working with. And so it's funny when he says the love interest too, because then like Richie's like, what? Like, it's not me. I would never be a killer. Yeah. And it's already like the whole time, like Richie's just not being a great actor. That's all.
No.
But they're talking about
kill.
very much that.
Yeah.
And so we have all of that happening, and what is it? That's whenever they're going through the rules, and he's basically just telling them like he's like, I've been stabbed.
I've been stabbed 9 times and I have a fun little limp. I don't want to get involved.
Exactly.
I have permanent nerve damage.
Help.
Yeah. Because she was like, help us, because she does have a close knit of friends.
Yeah.
And you're the one who's going to help us figure this out. And then that's when they leave, and Richie's like, he's way more fun in the movies, which I thought like was a pretty funny line.
Yeah. It's really funny because he's starting like watching all these stabs right now, and we learn later like this man is a fanatic. Like he's seen them all.
He's just watching them again because it's his favorite thing.
He does. It's so he's crazy.
It's like me watching Haikyuu.
Yeah. That's probably not how they say it at all.
Haikyuu.
Yeah. I just like the you. And he has to at this point let Sydney and Gail know. So he calls Sydney, and I like this little cool moment. We get to see Sydney. She's on a boardwalk
running,
or pier-ish type of situation with her babies. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to just see like that she's doing well and she's like away from all of this.
Do we know where she's living at the time?
No, I don't.
No
it
clue.
Never says. I don't think so.
Because I know the next one's supposed to be placed in New York. And Gail Weathers, her shows
is
in New
York.
York.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, is Sydney in New York too?
I don't know.
But Sydney's not coming back, right?
No, she's not. Apparently.
But I've heard from like other sources that they're like, oh, she's coming back, and I'm like
in secret. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if she's in it or not in any capacity.
I sort of hope she's not. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she needs a break.
I kind of hope she does,
because I kind of feel like that's true.
She's not dead yet,
but also like
I need her there still.
I just can't imagine a Scream movie without
Sidney Prescott.
Because the way that I see it is like this movie, like, because like Mindy or whatever her name is, she explains, she's like, this is the requel.
Yeah.
And how like
we're getting all new characters.
Yeah.
But
then we still have Gail.
People. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have the legacy characters.
Yeah.
But we do get these rules of the requel, and it's basically you're bringing in something old, but you're slapping something fresh on it. You know, you're not changing too much, but you are changing a little. It's like almost like retconning as well.
Yeah.
Where we have almost like a separate timeline. From what's happening from the original movies.
And that's why I think like the next one is gonna have like none of the original characters at all.
Like,
well, it still has Gail.
Other than Gail.
Yeah.
Because Gail
Dewey's dead.
Yeah, Dewey's
Poor
dead.
Dewey.
So
R.I.P.
it's only Gail.
It'll only be Gail and Sydney.
Yeah,
damn. But I don't know. They might get her back for the 7th one. I think, and I think what it was is that like they weren't paying her enough. She wanted more money, and like she felt like, because I'm like, this is her franchise essentially, and she kind of felt like slighted a little bit. Like,
yeah, I would too.
Yeah,
I'd be I'm the main fucking character.
Yeah, literally. Like,
give me my worth.
Yeah. So I think that's that. But we have them Sydney, with the babies, and I like how he's like, how's Mark, because we learned at this point that she married Mark Kincaid from the third
which I
movie.
didn't pick up on at all until we talked about it, and then I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
But there was no mention of him in like Scream 4, so I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, I know, that is weird,
but yeah, it's still cool. Like,
it's okay.
I'm fine
we
with
just
it.
ignore Scream 4.
Yeah,
maybe they were still on
this
the
is a whole new timeline, remember? This is a whole new timeline.
That's true.
And so
I love how he asks her, do you have a gun? And she says, I'm Sydney fucking Prescott, of course I have a gun.
I loved that. Yeah,
it was so good.
I love how too she's like still cares. She's like, have you talked to Gail? I know things haven't been like, but yeah. And then we have the moment where he's like texting Gail and being really awkward and cringe, but I think that's so Dewey.
It is. It really is.
So
I know.
Yeah.
He almost typed, I still love you, and I was like, boy, don't.
But
don't do it.
Who hasn't almost, So I feel like, other than Caitlin,
I was like, most of the time, if I leave someone, we done.
Yeah. But I just feel like it's very Dewey, very on brand.
And the fact that he has her as his only favorite in his phone.
Oh yeah.
I was
still
so sweet.
Oh, he only has eyes for Gail Weathers. Always has, ever since he was like 11. Is that what he said?
Oh yeah, that's
Whenever
right.
he first started watching
her,
her,
between like 12 and something.
Yeah.
But we're with the group because he does decide to join, and we're kind of all talking about essentially the requels, and we're giving another kind of Randy Meeks explanation from his niece, essentially, not really his nephew.
Yeah.
And we do see his sister, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
She did come back, and she was like, my brother would be so proud. Mm-hmm. All of them are here gathered around
to die.
Like the suspects.
Yeah. And it's pretty interesting to like kind of just get their vibes on like basically what every Scream movie does, and kind of like not poking fun, but like basically explaining to us what's happening all before us.
Yeah. Which is so good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I get so excited every time I talk about these films now to people who don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm
so
like,
fun.
You
it's
have
so
they're really so clever. They're so smart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so just on itself, and it's amazing.
And it has to follow that because it's like spelling it out for you, but they do it in a way that's like not.
It's not like.
I don't know.
You just have to get it, okay?
Yeah, the girls who get it, and the ones who just don't.
They're dumb.
But what were you gonna say, Kathleen?
I don't remember.
But you get it.
Yes.
You get it.
And so I love Mindy's explanation of the requels, and kind of like how we're getting like how we have Halloween and we have the Candyman requel, and how it's, a retelling, but it's not necessarily changing too much because it still plays on things that had happened in the past, or like the Hellraiser, the remake kind of felt like it pulled still from things that we knew from the past already, but changed up other things. And I think it's a really great way of like making things fresh and exciting, and it really feels like nostalgic but new at the same time.
Yeah, it has to be new but not too new. New main characters related to the OG characters. Mm-hmm. And that's when who was it? Sam says, "Are you telling me I'm caught in the middle of fucking fan fiction?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, you're the star."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she really is.
The fact that they are like, well, if everything's like the way that it's said, you're the killer. Yeah. And she gets so mad.
I really didn't understand that.
I didn't either, because then everyone else was like, yeah, that makes sense. And I was like, no, it really doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
But also, you brought a bunch of teenagers into one room and said, one of you try to kill your best friend.
Yeah.
And then got mad when they were like, well maybe you tried to kill your sister. Like, why are you accusing us?
I guess gave that vibe. Because everybody had the finger pointed to them a little bit at one point. So and it's kind of like.
When Wes was like, well, maybe it's Dewey. And he like said all these things to Dewey, and Dewey was like, well, maybe it's you. Because that really could be.
Yeah, I love that.
That was one of my favorites.
Face made me laugh so hard.
I love it. But yeah, we have, like you said, her storming out and leaving. And then we get another freaking Billy Loomis moment of her in the car, and she's kind of having that hallucination.
His face looked even worse here in the rearview mirror. It really did.
But very zoomed in on him.
It was. I was like, objects in mirror closer than they appear, apparently. But it's not like that on your rearview mirror. It's only on that left side,
like
or the right side, the passenger side. Yeah. I guess he was really leaned up.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
you know, he didn't have a seatbelt on and
I guess.
he had his
Dead.
face between the seats.
And she
and
almost wrecks.
She almost wrecks, but she's having
into
this-
Sheriff Hicks.
Yeah, into Sheriff Hicks.
I love
yeah.
how this all overlaps
It
too,
does, yeah.
eventually.
I did not notice that. Wait, was
Yeah,
it
I'm pretty
actually-
sure it was Sheriff Hicks blowing through, coming back to get
Oh.
to whenever she was coming back to get baby boy.
Mhm, to
Baby boy
Wes's
Wes.
house. But
Wait, but how
but
would
no,
he have?
because-
No,
So
it couldn't
because
have
it
been.
didn't happen yet because we're just
She
getting her
just
at the
left.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because-
it could have been just like
I thought it
at
looked
some
like
other
Sheriff
point.
Hicks' car,
It could have still been her, but before
she could have been
all of this
zoom
had
in,
happened.
zoom.
Yeah. It's
She's
a really
a police
small
officer.
town. Yeah, it's a small town, I'm
The
sure too.
sheriff.
I'm sure like her
Judy
office
Hicks
is
would
here
not
and,
break
like,
the
her
law.
house is here. Because we do see them at home because Judy's in the house, right?
Yeah.
And she's setting up, and I love how even the house is like it's very Judy Hicks, like
Oh
the-
yeah, it's so cute.
yeah,
It was so homey.
All
very
of these
homey.
homes made me realize how much of like
Mhm.
I just don't ever want to live in a house that doesn't have an open concept.
because
That
they're
is-
so closed.
Yeah, and
and
like,
like all the doors
every
and where
time-
a killer could be.
yeah,
Oh
exactly.
True.
no,
Yeah,
I don't want open concept. I need walls to hang shit on.
yeah, you do. That's
I
your
do.
vibe though.
Yeah.
But I do
Like,
fuck with the concept.
I would definitely rather just see the killer
Mhm.
across the way and be like, "Oh, awkward,"
Yeah.
rather than them like hiding behind the door.
Awkward.
because there are a lot of areas for them to hide, as we see like
Yeah.
here, especially when she's getting spooked because she hears something and she's like, "Oh, is someone in here?" And she thinks she's like, Wes, like, where are you? And she even gets a knife and she's like trying to protect herself.
Yeah.
Which she's a
'cause
cop.
we-
Where's her gun?
Yeah,
That was my first thought.
Well,
And-
she was in her little workout gear.
yeah, her titties out.
Yeah,
They
her
looked great.
boobies
Big
did look. So
boobies.
we talked about that last
Mhm.
time.
Yeah,
They looked amazing.
I think she had like a periodic table of like vegetables on the wall as
She
well at some
did.
point. Yeah.
Good for
Cute.
Which is
her.
cute. That's why I'm like,
That's
it's
so
so
her.
Judy. But she just seems like
So
she
Judy.
seems like a person who just really loves, just like she loves being a mom. She loves being
She
Wes's mom.
does.
She loves her job. She loves keeping the community safe.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So R.I.P. But yeah, she
I know, I hated
almost
her.
almost stabs Wes
She
because
does.
he has his
Yeah.
headphones on, right?
Yeah.
he's-
She turns around
me all
and
the
he was
time.
like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, ah. Yeah.
I don't understand why he's surprised because obviously there's a killer on town. Everybody's
And
mad.
why did he leave the
Why
door
do you leave the
wide
door
open?
wide
Yeah.
open?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Especially
Why?
for being
Why?
one of the
Why?
ones
Why?
who was very like
Paranoid.
paranoid and OCD.
Yeah.
But she's so sweet. She's gonna go get him his favorite food, and she's gonna go pick it up because he
Sushi.
doesn't like it delivered because something gets soggy.
Yep.
Yeah,
it
like
gets all
it's a-
mushy
yeah.
together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
Um,
get
We
our
love a mom.
favorite shower scene with Wes.
Yeah, which is playing homage to Psycho.
Yep.
And
One of my
get him,
all-time
mhm.
faves.
taking a shower. It's he's looking all sexy.
He is, but with a god-awful farmer's tan.
God, that's all I noticed too.
It is just his neck and
Yeah.
his arms, and I was like, oh, they couldn't airbrush that out for him or something.
No, all natural.
Damn.
Mhm.
The one thing I understand it's Scream and it's the whole point of the movie, but why do people pick up unknown callers?
Yeah, I
I've
don't.
had like 4 this week, and not once have I picked one up.
Oh no, I
don't
will
pick them up
never.
either, Yeah.
No.
Like,
I'm like, if it's important, you'll call again, and if it's
Or
important,
you'll leave a
important-
voicemail.
A voicemail. Yeah.
yeah.
And then I
And I'll
see
call
what
you
it
back.
is.
again like 4 times, and I'm not picking up until a voicemail's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Same.
Or a text message saying like, "Hey, this is me," and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, okay.
yeah.
Now I'll answer your call."
That
You
makes
should have
sense.
said
And I
that from
feel
the
like-
start.
At this point, this whole town, all these people should know. Oh, unknown caller. Maybe I should.
Means I'm gonna
wait.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Ghostface.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the 7 days
7
phone call.
days.
But we do have her leaving. He's taking the shower, and she gets a phone call from the killer
Yep.
as she's driving to go pick up the food. And I love how she's like trying to trace it and stuff. And then they're having this talking, and he's like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And she's like, "I prefer Disney movies and animated films."
Animated films and musicals.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I loved it.
it was so
She's
funny.
so cute.
I was like, good for you. And she didn't even hesitate with that comeback.
Oh,
she
yeah.
was like, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
she's 100%
She's
herself.
prepping for it.
She
Yeah.
was.
All this time, she's like,
Yeah.
"At
I've been
some
ready for
point, I'm
Ghostface
gonna
to
get
call
this
me.
call."
Yeah. And which is such a funny moment because I love how in Scream 4, like she was kind of a suspect for like one of the ghosts, like for Ghostface at some point.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
'cause
I
she was a
definitely
little
thought it was
creepy in
her.
that movie.
I
Yeah.
also hated her.
Mm-hmm.
And I still,
Her
the
stupid
first
lemon
time I
squares.
hated her like throughout this movie, but then this time watching her now, I had a little
like
bit of
her.
a soft spot
Yeah.
because once I knew that she died, I was like, oh.
And she's
damn.
Wes's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved
And she was
Wes,
so
therefore
caring.
I,
As a
like,
character.
loved her.
And I
Yeah.
think they made Wes for that reason, to like be so likable that you're just like, oh damn, Wes died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. You can't hate him.
Because Ghostface is obviously like, what does he say? I'm gonna
get your baby boy.
Yeah.
By the time that you've gotten home, like
I
I'll
will
have
have gutted
your
him.
baby boy. Yeah.
I love how she's just like, nope, boop, and
Nope.
spins around
Turns
and
it along.
starts just
And
eating
she was
her way
like,
back home.
how do I know that you're home? Like, how do I know that you're actually watching him? And he says, you ever seen the movie Psycho?
Mhm.
And it was like, oop.
Yeah. And she knew, I guess he was taking a shower.
Yep.
But I would have been like, I would have been funny if she would have been like, no, I don't like scary movies. Like,
I've actually never
I've
seen that.
never seen Psycho. But yeah, we do have her rushing home, and we have that whole scene of like, Wes is in the shower, and it's like all like, it's very playful in the way that the camera is working, and like
Yes.
he's talking to her, running. But we have her making it, but like she runs up and she ends up getting stabbed right in the gut and
Repeatedly.
the stomach, like, and
In
it's pretty
broad
violent.
fucking daylight.
Yeah, I guess the town is so sleepy that like nobody's
Nobody's outside walking their dog.
Nobody's
Even though I'm
really
pretty sure
checking
she
for
passed
murders, I guess,
someone.
happening. Yeah.
Even though there's a murderer on the loose.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's okay. But yeah, she's just getting brutally murdered. Meanwhile, Wes, poor guy, is just inside while his mom's getting stabbed, and he
Yep.
doesn't even know.
Has
And
no
he's
clue.
so sweet because getting everything set up for them, and like
I
he's just like
know.
ready for her to get home. And then I love how he almost opens the door, but then doesn't.
Yeah, because
then-
it was open.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
came
yeah.
downstairs and it was open.
That's right.
And he was like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And he closes
and then
it.
we have all those moments. This is what we're talking about, where they were building up the tension of like, opening doors and cabinets, and then like the fridge, and then
Yeah, that
you
was the
think
first
something's gonna
fake out
happen.
was that door, and then another
and the
one.
music the entire time. 'Cause,
It
like,
swells.
It just, and the door closes and it
Shh.
just drops. And
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh.
Really
Yeah.
good. It flaked us out quite a few times.
And then I just love the fact that when he does die, it's not because like the Ghostface wasn't behind a door. 'Cause
Oh
that's
wait,
usually
maybe
where
that
he
one
hides.
wasn't open yet, because then the third he hears the door open, and then he sees the front door unlocked, and that's when he goes to close it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. And then this is where he gets R.I.P.
Stabs. Yeah,
Stabbed.
but like you said, yeah, there usually is a ghost face on the other side of the door, but he actually closes it, and then like bam, ghost face is right behind you.
Yeah.
And poor guy didn't really stand a chance. Just
No.
kind of like, and then
But he still
Right through the
tried,
neck.
'cause He was
I-
reaching for like
yeah,
the tasers and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
because he showed us that earlier, saying everyone thinks I'm like crazy.
yeah. I
it
really
still didn't
liked
save
the practical effects.
The
of, like,
practical effects here
the
are
knife
amazing.
going through the neck, and then this was also a moment where I noticed that Ghostface was very like looking at him. I feel like Ghostface was surprised that like, wow, like why aren't you dead yet? Like you
Yeah.
should be dead. And then like
Why you still gurgle?
kind of taking a little time.
Why
Yeah.
gurgle still?
But I thought it was a really cool scene of him like getting stabbed and then just kind of them both going down to the floor.
Yeah,
Very
I agree.
sadistic of very like I said, Ghostface, whoever, probably Amber, really looked like they were enjoying like
Yes.
inflicting
Yeah.
pain on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
definitely remember watching
interested.
this scene in the theaters because this was like I had an era of going to the theaters alone,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was sitting there alone.
It's the best era of
surrounded-
anyone's
Yeah.
life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded by a full theater, and the entire place was just quiet, and like we all collectively were just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and it was
No,
just so
Wes.
great. Like
It's fun watching a movie in the theater because you
Yeah.
have that collective experience of getting
Yeah.
to enjoy something at the same time for the first time, like everyone else.
yeah.
Hopefully enjoy.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
then
I
there's-
feel like because it was
Yeah.
like probably like one of the first nights that Scream 5 had
Mhm,
dropped, so I
mhm.
feel like a lot of the people in that theater at the time were like, oh my god, Scream 5 is out.
They care
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it. They're not just going to be in there like
Yeah.
gabbing and talking and making noises. Yeah.
Thankfully,
that's how
that
it
was
was
when I
sometimes.
saw it as well,
Mhm.
and I'm excited for that to be how I see Scream 6 as well, because I'm
That
seeing
was
it
not
opening night.
how Megan was
Almost there.
That's okay.
Megan the
I
film.
was
Oh,
not
yeah.
expecting Megan to be a serious movie, so I was fine with the theater being loud.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel what you mean.
I haven't
Uh-huh.
seen it yet.
I liked it. It's streaming now,
It
so
made
you
me
should
laugh.
watch it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Mhm.
Anyways, his neck.
Also,
cool.
Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear is
Oh,
good.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't wait to
you
see
watched that.
I watched it yesterday.
You
It's
liked
pretty
it?
good. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now Gail Weathers is on the scene.
Weather returns.
Yep.
Runs into also Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
Yep. and Sam's there.
I
And
love how they're like, oh, she don't like me. Oh yeah, she doesn't like me
she
either.
didn't really like me either.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm Gail Riley, and runs off towards Dewey at this point in time, which was like, oh,
yeah,
sad. And this is where we get their big whole emotional scene.
Yeah, which was nice. They had to film that twice because the first time that they filmed it, there were too many tears
Oh, really?
between Courtney Cox and David Arquette, and even like the crew and like everybody was crying apparently because like it was basically like their real life playing out on screen.
Yeah.
Oh, it was apparently really emotional.
They were married in real life
because they met of the first one and then got married and then were divorced by the time this one was made.
Yeah. That's so sad.
It's also like awkward.
Right?
Yeah, I'm surprised that they were crying and not just being, but like,
Who
I mean, it is
knows?
bringing up really real emotions.
Well,
and
who knows why they didn't work out? You know, maybe there wasn't like anything like animosity. Like maybe it just didn't work out. And it was still sad. Like, I don't know.
And they have children together and stuff as well. And like, I mean, we find out that, you know, they've split not because they wanted to, but because, you know, Dewey was meant to be in Woodsboro,
and she
was meant to be in
like
New York
the big
City.
Apple,
where she could commentate on everything, and that's just not where he was meant to be. So he came back home, and he says he was a coward and stuff, and she says, you were a lot of things, Dewey, but you're not a coward.
You can tell there's a lot of like mutual respect, and like at least there's a baseline of like love. Like there's still like a sense of like maybe they're not in love, but they do love each other still.
Yeah,
you know what
they
I mean?
definitely don't want anything bad to happen to one another. They care about each other a lot.
I think even later on, Gail calls him her best friend.
Yeah,
when she was like,
she killed my best friend. Yeah.
Which is a really deep, like, you know, meaning for someone. And we do learn that he was like asked to retire. He's no longer the sheriff. All these kind of
which was so sad too, because he was so passionate about his job. Yeah.
But he's heartbroken.
Yeah.
At this point, I think we go back to Tara at the hospital.
Yeah, and we're with Richie watching the commentary on Stab 8 with your fave.
Ugh. Dead meat.
Yep.
Dead meat. I love dead meat. Yes.
And his now wife, I'm assuming they got married.
They're married. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they were married when this.
They were
dropped.
engaged.
They were engaged. Okay. They are married. Yes. Now, Chelsea and my favorite guy that for some reason his name I don't know why.
That always happens to me.
Literally, and I like literally James A. Janice. Ugh. There we go. But yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because they actually became friends with the directors and the producer who made this film.
Oh,
and
really?
That's how it
fun.
kind of ended up. Like they even went to their wedding and stuff. Like that's
that's so cool.
They ended up on the film. Yeah.
Nice.
But he's watching this kind of recap of situation podcast of the Stab 8 film, and it's funny because they're basically saying what the sentiments of Richie and Amber are saying of how like they hate, you know, Stab 8 and how it shitted on the entire franchise.
Talking about how Stab and not like how it should have been Stab 8 and not just Stab.
They're making fun of the commentary of the name.
Yeah,
And
like
how
Scream and Scream 5. Yeah. And then it says, if you ask me, this entire franchise goes off the rail with 5, which would have been this film.
Yeah.
Which was
a lot of funny
so
play
clever.
on words. Actually, you know, I remember I hated that this was called Scream, like the original Scream, and I didn't just have like a Scream 5 or something to it. But in watching it this time and then understanding like the layers of the commentary to it and like how this is really focusing on requels, I get it.
I get
like
it too.
How Candyman, and we had Halloween that came out, you know, 2018 and it has the same name as the original. I get it.
Yeah.
So
I get it as well. But it is definitely still a continuation of the story. Exactly. And then there's just Scream 6. So it's like, okay.
It was still a thing.
Whatever.
Still Scream 5.
Yeah. But yes, this is where all of a sudden though we see Deputy Daddy and Sam is like, Wicca what?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
You should be protecting Tara.
And then that's when they're like, beep beep, time to go. So Dewey jumps in.
Like, my sheriff was just murdered.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do? That takes priority. I'm like, no, you were supposed to protect Tara.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I also kind of feel him because I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The sheriff was just murdered.
I kind of feel like all units to this area now.
Yeah.
Like, we lost our top dog.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But then also maybe this is the extra important time to protect
because that was a diversion.
Witness.
A distraction. And so we do have her breaking her neck just to get all the way to the hospital. And then we do see Tara's
almost
at the
killing
hospital.
them.
Yeah, and Tara's at the hospital. And she's in the bed and she hears that someone's there, right?
Yeah. She hears something. She's watching TV and she hears something and she's like, nope.
I gotta get out of here.
She starts trying to get out of bed and I was like, ooh, girl, probably not a good idea.
Damn, her poor hand. Like I'm trying to get on that fucking
and just how many times she was stabbed in the tummy and then
her abdomen. Yeah, you're right. In the back as well, right?
Yeah. And then also moving her broken leg off of the bed as well, which was just in a boot. And I was like, maybe it's a cast and a boot. Yeah. Maybe it's both.
That's wild. Yeah. Pain is like, because we watch all these movies, right? And I always think like, man, if I were to get shot or like stabbed at like in the middle of like trying to fight with like a murderer or like someone who's trying to attack me, like I would feel like, would my adrenaline like
power over that
through that, or would I literally just fall over and be like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's like
you never know, I guess, until you're in that moment.
Yeah, because I imagine myself like, no,
I imagine at least in the minute, like the moment that it was happening, it would be very like, okay, I'm up, like, I'm going, but like sitting in a hospital bed, I feel like
those are big ass blades. And
yeah,
like
taking that, and I'm like, what if that stabbed? You know, that's why I was thinking all of them got stabbed in their lower like abdominal.
Yeah.
And I was like, that could have hit your intestines. Now you've got like got a bowel blockage.
Well, and you're bleeding internally and all that stuff. And like,
I was like, that's gonna mess with your poo poo.
Like, all of that. And like just your life.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine. But she's poor thing, just hopping out of this bed and trying to get into the wheelchair. She's trying to escape.
And of course the lights go out as she's doing this.
So I'm sure her heart rate is just like
through the roof. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She had an Apple Watch on. It's giving her a warning.
Yeah. And you do
mine gives me that like once a day.
She's about to go out of the
probably pretty bad.
That sounds really bad. No more caffeine, please. She goes out she's trying to get out the door, but at that point, does she answer the phone?
Yes, phone rings. Yeah. But I don't think she does answer it.
That's right.
I think it was like on her bed, and
and she couldn't get back to it. Yeah.
And then that's whenever Richie goes through the door, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "What the fuck?"
She attacks Richie. Yeah. She also saw the police officer dead out there, and his gun is gone. Yeah.
And she's like asking him where he's been, and that's whenever Ghostface comes and attacks him, right?
Yep, and gets him in his arm.
Yep, just
the famous.
I just love the fact that he goes, "Did you just hit me with a phone?"
Yeah.
She like first thing she does is like attack whatever comes through the door.
Yeah, and I mean, what else could she do? Like that's poor things. Like just broken in pieces. Yeah. Phone.
That's you gotta use what you gotta use.
Yeah, what you have. And like you said, he gets slashed in the arm, like so many other people do in this franchise.
Scream 2, Scream 4.
Jill got slashed in the arm.
Yeah.
Which sometimes is the murderer, but sometimes is just like a red herring. But in this instance is the murderer.
Yeah. Scream 2 was red herring.
Yeah. And then Jill,
I really thought it was him.
Yeah, I did too, though. Honestly,
the whole time.
Well,
Scream 2 did such a good job of that.
Well, Scream 2 as well. Love Scream 2 had so many I think they rewrote a lot of things towards that end section, and I think he was kind of originally supposed to be, but then they made it be that one other guy instead.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Who was missing for like 50 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that kind of, he was doing all the Ghostface stuff. So yeah. And so that's whenever we have fucking Ghostface attacking Richie. And he then starts attacking Tara, and it's pretty brutal because she's just like crawling, like as one does, like as they're pulling dragging your whole body. Yeah. And, gets on the phone with Sam and is making her choose between the boyfriend or her sister, and she's like, what the fuck?
Who do you want to hear die? You can say kill. It felt very much like for more options, press 1 or something, and it was like, you can say kill Tara or you can say kill Richie. Which would you prefer?
That's what it gave.
Please choose your answer now.
You have a perfect voice for that.
Thank you.
You could get a job doing that. You could be the new Siri.
I'll be Siri.
Yeah.
She pissed me off. Most
she
of the
never
time.
understands what you're trying to tell her.
No.
She'll just Google search, and even then it's wrong. And then you still have to like unlock your phone and do all that just to look at. Anyways,
And it's like, okay, thanks, Siri. Thanks for nothing.
but Sam was fucking stalling.
Yeah.
Because Sam pops up into that damn elevator. I love it, and just starts pow 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 pow. Yeah. Comes through.
I love the way that she comes in too when she's like, and because she said, Amber says, maybe you're too weak for this franchise, and she says, or maybe I'm just fucking stalling for time, fuckhead.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Comes in, and we do get Tara rescued. We get Richie rescued, but that's whenever Dewey's like, we gotta go back because we said they always come back. You gotta make sure they're dead.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have, but good on Dewey.
Because he had already fought her too.
Yeah.
Like he was fighting with her, and then I was at this point too. I was like, how in the hell is Amber overpowering him?
Oh yeah, because even he was like, "Not today, Satan." Or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. He said, "Not today."
Yeah.
And then whenever they get on the elevator, he goes, you have to shoot them in the head or they're gonna come back. And they said, "Who gives a fuck?" And he was like, "I do." And he goes back, and of course, he gets a phone call right as he's standing there
Gail.
over the body, and
It's so sad that it is from Gail.
I know.
And it just gives enough time for the Ghostface it's Amber, to get up and then just like stab him
And gets gutted just like Stu wanted.
Yeah, exactly. From the
groin
to the gut or the top of the chest, whatever.
Yeah,
area.
Sternum. And then we love the way they said, "It's an honor."
Yeah, it's an honor. And even before that, she was like, "Yes, today."
Yes, today. Yeah, because he had said, "Not today."
Yeah, she's like, "Yes, today," and it's an honor. Pretty brutal. But honestly, if you're gonna kill Sydney or Gail or Dewey, like it's gotta be in a like really big like spectacle way.
Yeah.
And the man's gutted, like his guts were out. Like,
yes.
This scene made me very like curious as to like, if she had said, "Oh, kill my boyfriend," would she have been like, "Okay, like wrong choice" or something like that, and then kill the sister? Or if she'd said like, "Kill my sister," because like that was her partner.
Yeah.
So it made me very curious as to like, what if she had chosen, and then like, would she have been able to kill Tara? Because again, like
they were friends.
Yeah, and we've sort of decided that it's like it was definitely like Richie who was trying to kill Tara in the beginning.
Yeah.
And
but
then,
I don't know. I feel like she was brainwashed enough to like kill Tara
but
at that
also
point.
in that like end scene, to me, like in the fight scene where she like locks Tara in a closet. She doesn't kill Tara right away. Yeah. So it makes me curious as to like, would she have ever been able to kill Tara? Because she was so protective and like, what's the word, like
overbearing over
Tara, that like I'm just curious, like, would she have been able to do it?
And I
feel like
timeline.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Because like she did put her up in the closet and she didn't necessarily hurt her herself. At any point, and maybe she was just leaving that to Richie to do at some point. And like she couldn't have bared to done that herself. But that does pose a really interesting question, because at that point she could have honestly taken the game for herself and like killed him in that moment.
Yeah,
and then
he's
out of the picture, and then she's basically reaps all the whatever their plan was.
All
gets the fame, retention, whatever. Yeah. And honestly, that kind of ties loose ends, because when you have two people, that's like a lot of variables.
Yeah.
That just really makes you in control. And I honestly don't.
And there's always one who's more in charge.
Yeah. And I don't put that past her, because she seemed crazy. And like she likes control.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She seems like a wild card.
She was the Billy Loomis of this.
Yeah.
And then
she was her
Richie
obsession.
was definitely the Stubacher.
She just like drew him in. Yeah. Because she was the one that got obsessed with it whenever we find out when she moved into the house and all that stuff, and went on the little Reddit
subreddit forum. Yeah.
But Dewey's dead.
Dewey's dead.
Finally have Sydney showing up because Dewey's dead.
And we had that emotional scene with Gail, this is where I actually cried.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw this film. So when I saw it in theaters,
she's like, no.
And that's such like emotional music, with the slow-mo and stuff. And I was like, fuck, Dewey's dead.
Like, he's really dead. Like, it made it real.
Yeah. I didn't cry when he died, but her reaction
made me cry. Yeah, exactly.
You could feel the whole theater was just like,
it's like, oh, fuck.
You can feel
Dewey's
the emotional
fucking
toll.
Dead.
And,
I want to cry thinking about it just now. I didn't cry watching it this morning, but I was like, I think I was also typing notes during it.
It's really raw because, you know, you followed him throughout the past 4 films.
Yeah.
And he's really always has been a backbone and kind of also like that character that you always root for and it's funny because in the 2 and 1 and in 2, did it happen in no, not in 3, but he always ends up hurt. But he makes it. Like he's always that like
he always survives.
He always survives.
But there's no surviving this.
No, and it's sad because we do see like her reaction, and then we see her and Sydney getting together, and it's very much like because it's almost like it's a very much closing of a chapter. You know?
Exactly.
And I love how it's like inside and outside the movie, like, you know, like for the character, but then also like these actors have been playing he's played that character for 20 something years.
Yeah.
You know, so that's like I'm sure probably grows to be a part of a person. So I'm sure even
definitely.
them like are just like, whoa, like I will never play. I mean, who knows? It's Hollywood. They can rewrite it. I don't know. He can come back to life, but like he's like, I've never played that character again.
If the Scream franchise gets to that point, I might start disliking it. It's like in Schitt's Creek, whenever Moira comes back to life, her character
I didn't know she died.
Well,
or in the sitcom
she plays, she gets like drowned in a toilet or something, and then she comes back to life through a toilet. I don't know. It's something so ridiculous.
Because of Schitt's Creek. I've only seen a few episodes of that show.
Oh, it's so funny. What a good show.
And so that's whenever we do have Sam wanting to leave after she's talking to Sydney, because Sydney's basically being like, I can help you, we need to figure this out, and Sam's like, I'm sorry, like this might have been your drama, but this is not mine. We're gonna go and leave, and
we're gonna do what nobody ever does, get the fuck out of Woodsboro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which didn't they try to do? I don't remember.
She did that one. For the third one kind of basically followed them out to Hollywood in a sense, on a set, but it's always
she said it always follows her. Yeah. Because I mean, even
she did go to college.
Yeah. It followed her to college, and then she also in the third one was like living in
remote somewhere in the woods because she was trying to stay away from it, but somehow she got pulled back.
Still followed.
And then in the fourth one, she was on a book tour, and it was ending in Woodsboro, and that's when it all happened in Woodsboro.
Exactly. So she says it'll always follow you. And this is where Sam gets a little fucking rude with Sydney, and this is where
I love how Gail,
watch your tone, new girl. And I was like, you tell her, Gail.
You want to know how to survive this? This is the girl who's done it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love also Sydney looks, well, both Gail and Sydney, but they look so good.
They do.
Like they're
amazing.
I mean, that's the power of money and Hollywood and magic and skincare and like being able to afford like all this stuff to take care of yourself that well.
Yeah.
But like they look so good.
They did.
Yeah. But yeah, they're basically just trying to be like, you need to help us murder this murderer. Yeah. And I love how even Sydney's like, I have kids now, and I will not sleep until this person is dead.
Fucking dead.
Yeah.
Which I loved when she was like, you want me to help you and a morning show host commit murder? And both of them were like, yes, obviously. That's what we're asking you to do.
We wrote it out for you.
It's another morning for us. We have to kill someone.
They're like, we just got to do it again. I love how in the other ones,
another day, another murder.
That's true, because I love how in the other ones they're like basically trying to like survive and just like defend themselves, and in this one they're like, we ain't got time for that. We don't have fucking kill them. Let's go get them first.
Yep.
Yeah.
We go. Well, we're the killers now.
I love it.
Surprise, bitch.
And still Sam decides to leave with I love Richie at this point, also asshole he's giving, because he's like, let's get out of here. As they're trying to talk to her and like convince her to stay, because he obviously is trying to control the narrative of what's happening
and trying to get them to the scene.
I love how Sydney puts a little tracker on the car, and she's like, seems like what Gail Weathers would have done. And then Gail is just like, damn right.
Damn right. That is some shit I would have done. You right.
I love it.
And then this is where we find out that Tara's extra inhaler is missing, though.
Yes.
And so we're driving down the road, and they're like, oh, but I left my other one at Amber's house. So let's go to Amber's house.
Yeah.
And we get to Amber's house, and we find out that she's throwing a party for Wes at her house.
Because that's spot on.
Yeah.
Because she loved Wes so much.
She loved Wes so much. Yeah. And you just throw a giant house party for someone when you're grieving.
In their honor, yeah.
Yeah. Nope. I don't think that's what Wes would have wanted. I think
No.
Wes would have actually preferred everyone been home and safe under their blankies and
she
locked doors.
obviously wants to kill someone, so they're setting this up. And
That's
it's
true.
really such a good callback as well to the original, because
It
we
is.
were at Steamwalker's house and it was a house party.
Mm-hmm.
And we got
It is.
another house party going
Yeah, we
on.
had to have that. And
But
then
even
we
in that,
also
but I
got-
mean, sorry not to cut you off.
No.
Even back then, like them too, remember? Because they were having this house party and like their friends are getting murdered.
Literally everyone's dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the police are just like, oh, you're supposed to be on curfew, and what the fuck? And there's a party going on, so
And
it's
they're
still
like, we
vibes.
don't care.
Same
Yeah,
vibes.
that's
Woodsboro
true.
is just like they're living.
They're just like,
yeah, they're true.
more murder. It's fine.
We're used to it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
used to it at this point. And then this is where we get our wonderful to Wes.
Mhm, to
Toast.
Wes, because it's even more so for Wes Craven,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I felt like,
which Wes was named after him.
yes. And I felt like in the theater, whenever I watched that, I feel like most of us were like, to Wes,
With our imaginary cups,
raising
Or
our
with our-
little, or with our
Cokes.
soda cups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with our ices.
Here's my Coca-Cola.
Actually, at the Cinemark, I just learned today they have alcoholic ices. I didn't know.
Alcoholic ices?
Yeah, they have them at the bar. Yeah, I didn't know, because me and Robert usually just get ices, but I'm like, an alcoholic icy? What?
I'm
Yeah.
going to do that too.
Mhm.
I'm doing that on Thursday.
Do it.
Watch out, world.
Oh man, and they had these. I hope they bring them out. I had gone to the theater a few weeks ago to watch, I think, Quantumania, Quantumania, and they had these. I should have bought it. I knew I should have, but I didn't, because I was just like, I'll do it next time. And they had these Scream like popcorn cups,
Oh.
things like were huge. It was like a Ghostface, like a total Ghostface, but with like a thing cut out. And then they had like these cute cups of him and Ghostface. I was like,
All of the Scream memorabilia sells out so quickly.
Yeah.
and dude,
They have it coming back because like I went to see that and they
Okay.
were like, oh, get it on pre-order now because we knew y'all loved it so much. And like they have like QR codes up and stuff. So you
Fuck,
can
there.
I'm going to do it.
Oh.
I hope I can still
yeah,
pre-order
I'm
it.
gonna try to do
Fingers
that.
crossed my boyfriend actually pre-ordered it. He might not
I have
have.
the Cinemark app. I'm gonna see if it's on.
If he didn't, dump him.
I might.
But yeah,
He listens to this and he's like,
literally,
what?
He's like, what the fuck? He's never gonna let you come on the show ever again.
I
Uh.
told I told his parents because we were hanging, like I was at his house, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I'm going to be on an episode of my favorite podcast, and we're going to be talking about Scream 5 while I was actively wearing a Ghostface shirt.
Nice.
And like 2 days
Cute.
prior, I had been wearing another one, telling them, "Oh, I just love Scream," and they're like, "Yeah, we can tell."
Aw.
They're
Scream
like,
is such
"Oh,
a good. I need
that's
a
so
Scream
cool."
shirt. I really do.
Everything
get
is
you
from
one.
like Spencer's.
You got me one.
Yeah, it's really cute
I
too.
didn't wear it today because I'm planning to wear it to
to the
to
showing.
the opening. Yeah.
Look, yeah, Return of the Scream Cups. Okay, but
Okay.
I don't know if they have
And
the
then
popcorn
the
ones.
Popcorn. Oh,
Will you
they're
send
so
that to
cute.
me?
Look, they
It's
were
just
so
in my
cute.
Cinemark. Oh my god, that's so cute.
And they had like little plushies.
That's in the
of him,
Cinemark app?
too.
Yeah, this is on the Cinemark app.
Look how dramatic my Duolingo gets.
Oh wow, he's so cute though.
I
Wait.
know. It makes me wanna go learn Korean. The 333 of learning Korean, y'all. Almost a whole fucking year.
Nice.
I don't know nothing. 감사합니다.
I attempted to learn Spanish, and then my
Crazy.
grandma passed away, and I was like,
Aw.
I don't need to learn Spanish
Oh.
anymore.
Yeah.
Not
Grandma
my
takes
problem.
precedence. Anyways, while we look at the cups, basically to Wes, Mindy's suspecting Amber now. So Amber goes down. She's like, I'm going to go get some beer. And because Mindy says we're out of beer. And Amber's like, I'm going to go down, get some more from the basement. And then,
Just like Tatum.
It's
Yeah.
a 2-pack. I'm sorry, I just got even more excited.
okay, wait, will you send me that link since it's online?
Yeah. Okay, go back to this episode. Sorry.
But rather Mindy's more testing her per se, because she goes downstairs and she's like, oh, I was like, who just
That was
texted
the
me?
popcorn thing. Look,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can we get that too?
I'm ordering it right now. I don't know, but I'm ordering it.
Cause I'm going to order it as well. Okay. Anyways, she's testing her, blah, blah, blah. She goes downstairs, Liv and Chad are upstairs and they're making out. And she asks him to go. Oh, they're like in the living room,
Yeah.
but she asks him to go upstairs. And he
'Cause
was
she
like,
finally wants to
upstairs, like
fuck.
upstairs. Yeah, she finally does. And then, but he was like, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not like 100% sure that you're not the killer.
When she finally wants to have sex with him, and he's like,
And then
I
she
feel like he could have said literally anything else.
Anything
and it
else.
would have been fine.
Yeah.
been like, I don't really want to leave the party down here or something.
We're celebrating my friend.
Yeah. Is this really the right place for it? But then like all y'all have already been making out and stuff.
Yeah.
And she gets up, storms off mad, and he was like, that's a completely valid emotional reaction for you to have. Which was like, oh, good for him being so aware of feelings.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
But yeah. Anyways, my note just says LOL because she's probably dead. Oh,
Excuse me. I'm
bless
so sorry.
you.
Thank you.
I think that's because Mindy's back on the couch now, and
Yeah, that's because she's watching Stab version of her uncle, but it's not even her uncle because it's the person who's playing her uncle in the movie Stab.
Randy,
yeah, talking about Jamie.
Yeah,
it's so meta.
It is.
But
it's like movie within a movie within a movie.
And then she's reliving it because it's what's happening to her on the couch, and we have Ghostface obviously behind her. And I love how she's.
That's a little bit.
It's later.
Oh, a little bit later.
My bad. Oh, because she's talking about how she might make out with the other lesbian girl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Because she's asking. I think
Her
because
brother, he's like
Chad.
trying to go find.
Yeah.
Because she finally shares location.
Yeah.
Yes.
With Chad, and Chad's like, well, I'm gonna go find her.
Yeah.
And he like. The sister's like, take a weapon. At least take a
yes.
weapon.
And thank God he does, because he goes out there and then, of course, he runs into Ghostface after following where the Find My Fam was going to take him, and he gets stabbed in the leg. But then after he hits Ghostface one time, he drops his weapon.
Yeah,
and it was like,
he's out for the count.
Motherfucker, come on. And he goes and he's like hiding behind the shed, and he's trying to make the phone stop tracking him, but he can't because it's all covered in blood, much like Tara was at the beginning.
Yeah.
And couldn't turn off or turn on and
the alarm.
The alarms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is where he makes a run for the house, but then
he ends up getting attacked by Ghostface.
Yep. Pops out of the shed.
Yeah. Right from behind him, and then just starts attacking him, which we're led to believe that he's dead at this point.
Yes, because Ghostface stabbed him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I really thought he was dead.
Then the headlights pull up, and Ghostface runs off because it's Tara and Sam and Richie. Pulling up.
Yep.
And that's when Richie comes in and he helps shut the party down. He's basically saying, like, sincerely, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit odd how quickly and willing he is to help do this. And then the whole time he's saying, I'm saving your life. Get the fuck out. Like, I'm saving your life. And then it was like, how do you know that?
For me, the weirdest thing was the fact that, what's her name?
Mindy?
Not Mindy. The
Liv?
other one.
Amber. Yeah.
Amber was like, they walk in and she's like, oh, I just need my inhaler. We're leaving. And she's like, okay, party's over. Everyone out.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird.
That's
because,
suspicious.
If you're having friends over and then somebody's like, oh, hey, I just need to pick this up. You don't stop the whole party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For, like,
You're just like,
to
okay,
run
here you go.
upstairs.
Bye. Yeah.
You just say, okay, go get this.
Yeah.
Okay,
They shut down
bye-bye.
the entire party. And also, the camera turns around and showing the people at the party. There's a grown man. I was like, that is a man.
Just hanging out.
I can see it.
And then Richie goes, oh, teens. And I'm like, that is a grown man. He looks older than you.
Literally.
And
That's
then-
funny how movies are like that, though. They'll have grown-ass people playing teenagers.
And then some other kid was like, somebody's goofy ass dad is kicking us out. And it was
That's
like,
when
he
Mindy's
does
making
not
out.
look old enough to be a dad of like
Yeah.
teenagers.
No.
I don't know.
Teenagers.
Yeah, that's when Mindy's making out with, like,
The girl.
Francine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but Liv pops back up, right? And then she was like, are you afraid of me, Mindy? And she said, I thought you said I was too boring to be the killer. Maybe that's the twist.
Yeah.
The expert eventually dies. Or like
She's
says
being
the
really
expert
cryptic and
eventually
weird.
gets...
And even
And the
Mindy.
way she did that with her thumb, I was like, that is the dumbest thing in the world. You're obvious, like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
but
like
she
the
also
hair.
looked fucking crazy.
Well, even Mindy's like, okay,
because of
psycho.
her eyeshadow, it made it look like her eyeballs were open too when they were closed with that gold. She had like a silver glitter lid. And so the whole time I kept thinking her eyeballs were open, but then they were actually closed. And I was like, why are you sitting with your eyeballs closed so long? Maybe you are a psycho.
Well, I even love how Mindy was just like psycho, okay? Like, and,
Yeah, now I am a little bit scared of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
and she steals her snacks and walks away.
She does. Yep. And then she says, this is where we figure out that they're in Stu Macher's house. And this is where
because Cindy and Gail
are tracking them.
Yeah, they're tracking. They're like, they call Sam and they're like, you're in Stumacher's house.
Someone planned to get you there.
Like, you need to get out.
Yep. And then it pans out on the house. We get that beautiful shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we just see like the kind of like overall like, I mean, we obviously, I think every fan knows whose house and where they're at and where they're going to end up. And I think we even talked about that in the last episode where it's like, I kind of wish we were a little surprised with it.
Yeah.
But it's just
they
like
really remodeled it in such a way, like, because even when Mindy is sitting here watching the film and it's saying like, turn around, and she's saying, turn around, stupid. Like, haha, you're so stupid. You can see the kitchen through and it's got the same blue on the wall past past the basement door.
Yeah.
And everything looks identical.
Pretty much the same.
So they've either not done anything to this house or they've remodeled it to look identical to how it was.
No, they haven't changed the house. That's how the house looks to this day. Yeah.
So, wow. That's so cool. Yeah. I just didn't know if the original, like the owners in the movie had done anything like that. Yeah. But
for me, again, I know it's Scream, I know it's the movie. If I had that house after seeing these murders, I'd be like, okay, first thing we're gonna do is renovate.
Yeah,
we want to
let's get a new paint color.
That's true.
Yeah, because
maybe
that house, like for me, I know that house would never sell unless you do some renovations
different,
to it.
Unless you've got some
these people,
fun people who want to buy it.
Yep, like Amber's mom and dad, or you. That's right.
But I don't want to kill people. I just want to. I don't actually. I don't know.
You're incriminating yourself.
Want a whole cool house.
Yeah, I just want a cool house.
It's a vibe. But we have like that the whole scene with Mindy right on the couch and happening just like from the movie, and then we have Ghostface actually being right behind her, and I love how she's self-aware at this point, because then she's like, she's actually awake. I should look behind me, and it's fucking Ghostface.
Yep.
And she gets attacked. And Sam runs up in there?
Yeah, Sam runs up, finds her, and attacks Ghostface
with the lamp.
Yeah. And then this is where then Amber also comes up and is like yelling like, you could have done this, blah blah blah, trying to point the finger at everyone else. Liv runs in, she points the finger at Liv
on her hands
as well. Yeah, because she was like, I just found Chad, kind of stuff. And then that's when Amber whips out the gun, not the gum.
Yeah.
Which
says,
I feel dumb. I was just like, for a while, I was like, how did she have a gun? Where'd she get a gun from? She took it from the cop in the hospital.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah. But also, too, it's just like, it kind of seemed like a lot of effort for Amber to then just be like, well, fuck it. Boom. I'm the killer.
Yeah.
I know.
But,
to hide it all.
But I guess it was a pretty good, and shocking way to be like, bam.
And it had come to that point,
blank,
too.
And because they're all there. And she point blank just like shot Liv in the head.
They're going to find it out now.
Yeah.
So, she just fucking killed her. And then that's when
Richie and Sam, like everybody breaks away, and Richie and Sam end up in the basement. And I love how he's like dragging her away, but she's obviously clearly like, no, I need to try to go save Tara, my sister.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, don't go up there.
Because he's saying there's always two killers. What if it's Tara?
Yeah. Which what?
Yeah, I know. I was like, she would have really put her body on the line for it to be her.
That makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
If there's two killers, like you said, always two killers. Both of them are actively killing people. So Tara couldn't just be sitting there
the whole entire
people
time
with a broken leg.
What was she doing?
Yeah.
Orchestrating stuff from the gurney?
That would have just been one person at that point, and then one person acting to get dead.
Well, because that storyline has been played already. That was Jill.
Yeah, that's
Jill
true.
was the one that was in on it, and then tried to play a victim. That's already been done.
Yeah. Can't do it again.
And so we have her with him, and then he's like, how well do you know your sister? And she's like, I know her better than you.
Yeah.
And she leaves him down there to go up
and find her.
And find her sister, yeah.
But then we flash to Amber coming out acting all dramatic.
Yeah, and we finally have Sydney and Gail pulling up, and they're like, what the fuck? Because she's coming up, she's like, the killer, he stabbed me. Oh my God, he's right behind me. And they're like, what do you think? And Gail's like, a trap, obviously. I love it. And
they called her bluff immediately.
And then Amber's like, fuck it. Psh, shoots Gail. I'm really sad that she shoots Gail so quickly.
I know.
Yeah, poor Gail. But
puts her down, but not for long. I mean, she does still get up, thankfully.
Well, I love how they're both like, I mean, I think Sydney even for a moment is like, okay,
we got to get you to the hospital. We just got to
go get you to the hospital. Even Gail's like, no, we're finishing this for Dewey.
Dewey. We're finishing this for Dewey.
And for all the like people that have like died, like, I'm sure they're like fucking tired.
Yeah, they've
like,
got to be
in this. Like, I'm tired of people dying.
Yeah. And then
so they go inside the house, and I love how Sydney is getting like this whole kind of like nostalgia, and we get the whole view of the house because she's like, "Whoa, I'm in this house again."
and it's such an awesome shot, like of her going through the house, and whenever she shoots through that closet door, that's where her dad was hiding.
Oh yeah,
or
that's right.
was being held, right? Originally, yeah.
Which also to me kind of would have like gave more pause, because like.
Like, what if someone else would have been?
Because she knows her dad was a victim in the whole thing, and he was being hidden in the closet. So what if she would have shot like another person, like, victim? Yeah. But I digress.
But I mean, doesn't she? That this is the point
she
where
does
I stop being able to see because the.
got
I had
you.
to be here.
But
I missed this. But sorry.
No, you're good, because she says out loud, if anybody is here, like, get out now.
Within 5 seconds to show yourself.
Exactly. So she did give a fair warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, hiding, killer or not, you have 5 seconds to show yourself.
Yeah.
Because she's obviously not the killer. I would have come out if I heard Sidney Prescott saying, like, get out.
Yeah,
okay.
I would have been like, okay.
Or even if you're tied up, to be like,
yeah.
Like, hit something, thud something.
Knocking my head against the wall.
Yeah. Because her dad was tied up, remember? So but you know,
like Tara was upstairs, and we find that this is where we find that she was locked up in a closet because Sam finally gets up there.
Yeah. And then Sam has you can see that Sam has this hesitation of like not letting her go or letting her go. And then we do see Sydney ends up getting a phone call. And it's from the Ghostface. And I love how Ghostface is talking to her, and she's like talking to him, and she's like, you're redundant. Like, you could have picked it.
You really need some new material.
Like, she's really talking shit to them.
And then she just click, I'm bored.
Yeah,
I'm bored.
Because he's like, wait, you haven't heard that? And she's like, I'm bored. And then just starts shooting through the doors.
Yeah.
And it's really great because she does end up shooting Richie.
She does.
In the leg.
Yep.
Which also, whenever he's like, I was hiding from you, and she's like, I clearly said get out, killer or not, like, that's on you.
In 5 seconds.
But it kind of helps his alibi, I guess, that another fucking Ghostface just pops out through the other closet door and then starts attacking her.
And then they both fall over the railing too.
Yeah, gun and all. And Richie starts to run down. And I love how she, I guess, trusts him for a moment, because she's like, Richie, grab the gun. He's like, kind of hard to do when you shot me in the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then Sam's trying to go for the gun, but then as soon as she's like just above or about to reach it or something, she gets up, and then he says, thank God you're okay, as he stabs her.
Yeah.
As Richie stabs her, and he says, because I really wanted to be the one to kill you. Damn.
Twist. Because it's like, you really did think it
and
was
he
him.
does twist the knife into her as well.
True.
He
Play
goes,
on words. And then you kind of maybe for a second thought, oh, maybe he's not the killer, but then it's like, well, nope, he is.
Nope. Yeah. Nope. He's for sure the killer. Yeah. He's the one.
And then we have Amber coming into the room, and then everybody's kind of like, fuck, okay, whoa, because they have kind of control of the situation at this moment.
He pulls out the extra inhaler. He had it in his pocket or something all along. Yeah. And then this is where they start going off and like off the rails, saying someone has to save this franchise. Yeah. Someone's got to do it. And
that's whenever even Sam's like, but like, why kill me and all this? And they're like, you're not the hero, you're the murderer. Like, you're the villain. Like,
you're the villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the illegitimate daughter of an original mastermind. Now that's a fucking villain.
Which already happened, because that was Roman from Scary Movie 3. But I digress.
Exactly. I know. I was like,
But okay.
We still like it.
Yeah.
And then this is where fucking Richie delivers the line, wasn't that hard for me to find you in Modesto, and wasn't that hard for me to fuck you either.
Yeah.
Yep. And he says, because I guess being a sexually available woman is empowering these days. And I was like,
fuck you, Richie.
Damn. Fucking Richie.
Yeah.
Fucking mean.
And so we have basically villain monologue 101. They're explaining their
we have to bring the legacy characters back to make it matter. Our movie has fucking stakes. That's why Dewey had to die. The fans win this time.
Amber's delivery is like really psychotic. Like,
yes.
At this point, like, I believe, like, honestly, I thought that woman is crazy in real life.
She is. She's
not playing a character.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is delivering this. And then that's when she was like, nailed it, baby. And I was like, ew.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, I don't know what their age difference was, but it made me very
Probably
uncomfortable.
not appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, Sam was 13 when Tara was 8.
So it's like a 5-year difference already.
5. So that's
If he's the same age as Sam.
if he's
and
the same age
they're
as Sam.
obviously in high school, so they got to be 18 and under.
He could have
17
been
and under.
younger than Sam. We never know.
But still.
He didn't look it.
She's still.
That's true. He didn't. But he is also a white man.
She gave definitely under the. They had to have been what? Seniors in high school, right? At least so. Because then the next one, they're out of high school.
Yeah.
So the 7. She couldn't have been 18. That's all I got to say. She couldn't have been 18. It could have been an orphan moment, though. She could have been 34 and looked 18.
That's true.
But yeah, we have them going through their whole plan. And then at this point, that's whenever we have Amber going up to get Tara for their big, finale, their major plan. And when she goes up to look for her, she's like, oh my God, she's not here. And he's like, what? And then they get a phone call.
Yep.
And then Sam's like, that's for you. And so it's funny because it's almost like even the first movie, like there's a switch in the play. And now the control is not all in the Ghostface's hands. And that's whenever Tara's talking to him through the phone as Ghostface.
Yep.
And remind me what happens next.
Tara starts beating the fuck out of Amber with a crutch.
That's right.
She just starts like
wailing on her,
going ham on her with that crutch. And then Sam and Richie start getting into an altercation. Now Sam bites Richie's arm like open. And then this is where Sidney Prescott breaks the fucking hand sanitizer on Amber's head.
And she's like, fucking hand
sanitizer. And then this is where we get the
Which
you
one
killed
is
my
hand
best
sanitizer
friend
in a glass bottle, but okay.
I know.
Whatever.
I thought it was
Didn't
alcohol.
this movie come out like shortly after everything with COVID?
Pandemic.
It was 2022, yeah. Because
So, I
we were
mean,
saying it was so
I guess.
COVID of it, like so 2020 of it.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was like a lot of like, I don't know who I was talking to this about. This conversation keeps coming up for me, but like a lot of like alcohol places, like they were making sanitizer.
Yeah, they
and putting
were
it in their jars.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it
might
could have been
one of
something
those.
like that. But this is where we get that line where Gail Weather says, "You killed my best friend," because Amber's trying to act like, okay, no, like it's, I'm just a kid.
I'm
blah,
just
blah,
a kid.
blah.
I was controlled by the movies. He really brainwashed me. Essentially.
Yeah, and then that's when Gail says, "You killed my best friend," and she says, "Yeah, and he died like a pussy." And then it was
so
like,
stupid.
oh,
she's so crazy.
Yep.
And they end up at this point they don't get to. That's whenever it's all getting mixed up for me.
Well, it's because it's flashing back and forth. So Richie's like following Sam's blood trail up the stairs, and he's looking for her. But then,
and she makes it seem like she's in a closet or something.
Yeah. And then they follow it back to being with Amber and Sydney and everything, and then they're like shooting at her, and then she lands and
Somehow
on her face on the burner, which she had already turned on accident, like she bumped into it, and she went up like Final Destination style
on flames.
Yep.
Just,
on her
it's
face.
Really pretty cool.
It was. I actually really loved that thing.
Yeah.
That scene. And then at some point, whenever she was choking Gail Weathers out, she was like, time to pass the torch, and then
like spit came out of her mouth and fell on.
Oh,
Gail.
really?
Did you see that?
Oh,
when
no.
she was talking to her, she
I
was
wanna
like
look
being
at it
so
again.
like that, like spit even came out of her mouth.
Ew.
I was like, whoa!
And it actually got on Courtney Cox's face. But then whenever she goes up in flames, Gail Weathers says, "Enjoy that torch," which was like, LOL.
Yeah.
That's funny. But this is where we then flash back to Richie. Sam jumps on him from behind, and he's yelling, "Stop! Fucking
but my ending. Yeah, they're having a whole altercation, and then that's whenever she sees he almost kind of has the upper hand on her, but she is then able to see a knife, and then she sees fucking Billy Loomis's reflection. He's kind of like giving her the like, go for that knife over there.
Yeah.
And she does get the knife because he thinks he's about to kill her, and she ends up being able to attack him and get him on the ground, and she just. What does she say to him? She
says, "I'm introducing a new role. Never fuck with the daughter of a serial killer."
And just ends up being able to
stabs him right in the face, which was good. Lots of people got stabbed in the face and the throat because Vince, or whatever the fuck his name was, Stu Macher's nephew or whatever, got stabbed in the face as well. And then, obviously Wes got stabbed through the throat. But it was really cool how I loved the practical effects in this film were just amazing. They were so good. But then she just goes fucking ham on him. She overkills him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like dying, and he's
But at
like,
this point,
"What
too,
about
I'm sure
my
she's,
ending?"
like, frustrated.
And oh, fucking hell yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
But he like, and especially after he's like, "What about my ending?" And it was like, I don't even know if I would have been able to be like that calm. Yeah, I would have just been like, "Fuck your ending."
It's my ending now, bitch.
And she's just like, "Here it comes," and slits his throat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that was really great though.
It was good.
Even it's very sadistic of her too, because we're not sadistic. Sorry, it really gives to like, because she's like bordering on the like, you're thinking like, oh, is she gonna now like, she's got a taste for killing? Is that like, you know, like you said, because her dad's a killer, now she's a killer. The way she just like slides that blood off of it, and it's just like. Like it's
she's like, I've done this before.
Yeah.
It felt like, but yeah, then everybody comes back in and they're like, oh, we better shoot him, like make sure he's actually dead. She shoots him a few times,
and they're like, yep, that'll do it.
And they're like, because the killer always comes back. But yeah, Amber comes back screaming, and this is where Tara shoots her and delivers the line,
I still prefer the Babadook,
which you were not a fan of.
I feel like the delivery could have been better. That's all.
Better. Not that you weren't a fan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this is where we get outside now. And we're outside. We see that Mindy and Chad are both still alive, which is impressive.
Yeah.
And then, of course, fucking Tara saying, "Can you take us to a different hospital this time?" And it was like, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Sam comes to thank the OGs. She goes over to Sydney and Gail and is like basically saying, you know, thank you so much for your help, and we couldn't have done this without you. Like, are you going to be okay? And Sydney says, I'll survive. I always do.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
Because she does. She's the final girl.
That's true. She is.
She'd be final growlin'.
And then Gail saying, fuck those people. Like, I'm not going to write about them. Those fuckers can die in anonymity.
Yeah.
Anonymity.
They don't deserve basically to be written about, especially since they killed Dewey. So she's just like, no, I'm going to write a book about a good man named Dewey.
Yep. Who was a sheriff.
Yeah.
Aww.
Which is really awesome. And we have it panning out kind of it goes over back to Tara and Sam kind of getting back together.
Yeah,
and,
getting in the ambulance together.
Having a sister bonding moment. You know, they've just been through a lot.
Yeah.
And then it pans away, and I love how it pans away and it ends the same way that the first movie ended.
Just panning out on Stu Macher's house.
With like a newsreel and everything. There was a murder at his house.
And then I think it was in the third Scream where Gail was in that iconic like yellow outfit. But this reporter was also in that yellow outfit. So it felt like it kind of nodded back towards it as well. And then of course it says for Wes.
For Wes. And
right
then
afterwards.
Ghostface, and it's like and then
and
that's
credits. And that's Scream
5 2022.
5
Cream.
What do we think?
I hated it.
You hated it.
5 booze.
5 booze. You upped your booze.
I'm upping it. 5 booze.
You went from 4 to a 5.
5 booze. I loved it. I loved it even more watching it this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm also going to up mine.
Also because I haven't seen it in a while. I was just like, oh man, I forgot how much I love Scream. And
yeah.
now I'm excited for the new one coming out.
I'm so excited now.
Yeah.
Because after watching it, I was like, I'm so glad that you like turned me on to these. Because I had seen Scream 1, but like I didn't appreciate them.
Yeah.
And then now I do. Now I am one of those girls that get it.
They're good.
Yeah. So a 5 from you.
5 booze. Overall, I enjoyed it this time even more so. I thought the story was good. I liked how they kind of went about it. I thought it was a very like respectful way. I thought it still still kept with a lot of the things that they did in the other Scream movies. Still kind of same formula, just added a few new things. I liked the cast. I liked all the new added characters. I like that we also get like a lot of more diversity now with our cast as well.
Yeah.
Than we did with previous versions, iterations. And also, I really enjoyed the I don't know if it's cinematography, the camera work, the photo work. Like everything was kind of in this movie done really. Like they spent a lot of money on this film, and you can tell. Like everything was shot really well nice done and beautiful.
Yeah. Overall, they're just very well done. Everything that they did. What about you?
I would have to say 5 booze. 100%.
5 booze. Yeah. Why is that?
It was just a great movie, and the way that it gave honored the ones that came before it, and I just genuinely loved it so much. And seeing it the first time, for me, going in, I didn't go in thinking oh, who's the killer? I definitely was just sitting there and it was a shock for me. And just as as a dumb movie watcher, because that's what I view myself as. I don't go into it thinking, oh, I need to figure out the ending. Like,
Yeah.
You're
enjoying the ride as you go.
I definitely try
really
not to
good.
figure out the ending sometimes.
Yeah. That's what I had to do when I was rewatching the Scream 2, Scream 3, and Scream 4, because like obviously knew who the killers were in Scream 1. And I remember when I took myself out of that like element of like already knowing who it was, I was like, oh wow, you find a new enjoyment of like,
who is it? It's a whodunit. Yeah.
But even going back and rewatching it, knowing who it is, then it's even better because it's like, oh my God, you see all the signs.
Yeah.
I genuinely love this movie.
Yeah. I am going to give it a 4.5. I also did genuinely enjoy it. I upped my boo as well. We originally gave this a 4. Yeah, a solid 4 from both of us. But yeah, 4.5. I really enjoyed this film. There's a few things, you know, like how I just disliked Billy Loomis's character coming back, and well, not him coming back, but the way that they executed it, and how they made him seem kind of, they redeemed his character a bit, a little bit too much in my opinion. And so that's why I think that I would have to knock this down to a 4.5. But overall, I still really did love this film. And it is on one of the, I think whenever I listened back, you had ranked Scream 1 as your top. Scream 5 was your second. Yeah. And then for me, Scream 5 was my third. Okay. And I still think it holds that place. I think it went 1, 2, 5 for me, and then 3, 4. Yeah. And yours was, I think, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. 4, 3. Yeah. 2 might have been lower for you. Okay. It might have been 4, 2, 3. Yeah. But I still really, really enjoyed this film overall. And I think it's definitely worth the watch, and I'm so excited to go see Scream 6 now. Scream 6. Yep. Ooh, coming out this Thursday or Friday, but most movie theaters show stuff on Thursday now. Yeah. That's when I'm seeing it. Excited. So I can't wait. I know. I need to buy tickets. But as always, we're in the lovely Rogue Media Network studio. That's right. They always take great care of us. You can listen to us and all the other lovely podcasts that they have on their website, which is roguemedianetwork.com. Yep. And you can listen to us or them on a slew of podcasting platforms, the biggest two being Spotify and also Apple. But wherever you do listen, don't forget to rate, review, like, and subscribe. That's right, because that is the only way we can get ahead in this world. And then if you want to reach out to us, let us know your thoughts on Scream 5 or how you felt about Scream 6 after you've watched it. Yes, you can do so in one central place, and that is on Instagram at Boobays Podcast, and that's BOOBAES Podcast, because we're your boobays, not your boobabes. That's right. And then recently we've been doing, ever since the year started, we've been doing a listener request every 2 weeks. Yes. And it is proving to be a little bit difficult for us to there's just so many allocate that much time and the time to do it all. Yes. Yeah. And so we also don't want to burn out through all the requests as well. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to try and space it out a little bit more, and we're going to move towards only the second Thursday of every month. But you're still getting one listener request a month. Yeah. So please do still continue to reach out to us and let your, as compared to 2. Yeah. So you're really not missing much. But now just still reach out to us and let us know your listener requests, and we'll still definitely get to it. We're just going to do it a little bit slower now. Yes. To give us a little bit of breathing room as well, because we have to watch all these movies and then also find time to record on top of our normal life. Yeah. Which we love. Which it is so fun. Yeah. And then also thank you, Kesley, for coming in today. Thank you guys for having me. It's been amazing, and I love getting to come back to be here with y'all. We'll definitely have to have you back again as well. Yes, this was very fun. I've missed you. It's been so hard. Without me. Without you. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I should just never have graduated. Yep, should have stayed. Yeah. Should have. Oh, please come back. That's okay. Well, now you can see Caitlin here. Yep. And join us on Boobays. Just message me anytime, and I'll be here. You'll be here. And call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Anything else? Nope. we're covering the Saw franchise next.
Yep.
Not all of it because there's a lot, but we're at least going to cover the
1, 2,
first
3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, and 3. So
Yep.
if you'd like
Coming
to follow along with us, you can watch those as well and be prepared for that to come out next
Through the month of
Tuesday
March.
in your ear. Yep, in your ear holes.
And until next time.
Until next time.
Bye,
Bye.
bays.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.